Hi there folks, welcome back to RRTV for our continuing coverage of the Australian Endurance Championship, round number 6 here at Watkins Glen International. And as you can see folks, we're coming back and we are under safety car yet again. In fact, this is the third safety car we've had since we went off air about an hour and 40 minutes ago. So as you can see, the safety car lights are out, so we should be going green shortly, but this will give us a good opportunity to go through the top 5 on each class. But before we do, as always, Adrian, welcome back, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Yeah, it's been interesting. I think the guys are still being excited out there. It's 2 hours to go. You still got to buy that ticket for that half an hour to go, so we'll see how they go, but always interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, and for the viewers out there, we've readjusted the volume, so hopefully you can hear us, or hopefully we're not drowning you out, and you can enjoy this broadcast. But looking at Class A at the moment, well, Joe Burkett is leading the way for Team TTL. In fact, this car has led 93 out of the 105 laps they've run here so far. So a very dominant effort there from Team TTL. In second is Carnet TDR with Timothy Schweck driving that car at the moment. And another strong run for them. Now that car has not led any laps tonight. Third is the 100 Dayco Motorsports, Matt Barron behind the wheel there. And again, this car has not led any laps. Looking in fourth though, the 101 FSR Dayco Motorsport, Kurt Stenberg's still behind the wheel of that car. They have led 1 lap of this race. Then rounding out your top 5 is the 169 ABR Simulator 2, Brian Borg, and they have led 4 laps. The only other car to have led any laps is the 130, Synergy Sim Racing number 2 in 6th position, and they've led 7. So that's your wrap up of Class A. And it's looking pretty dominant out there so far for Team TTL, Adrian.
Yeah, doing a great job. You know, strategies look really good for those guys at the moment. So definitely working there for Team TTL.
Yeah, so only the top 8 now are on the lead lap. So the last car on our lead lap is Tryhard's Racing HPD2, and that's got Alfred Shepherd driving that car.
Yeah, 8 cars, not bad effort. I think we've been running for 4 hours now, so not a bad effort. Still have 8 HPDs on the lead lap, so that's pretty cool at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and the safety car lights are out, so we're definitely about to go racing. But looking at Class B, that is being led by the 226. Then that's Evolution Racing Australia. Then second is a 228, again Evolution Racing Australia. And the 205 is in third at the moment. But we're under starters orders. We're under green now again. 3-4 wide into the first corner. Hold your breath, folks. It could get messy. But Team TTL through first, followed by Carnet TDR. Matt Barron in Dayco Motorsports third, right on his hammer, and then the 101 follows up in fourth.
Yeah, probably one of the cleanest starts we've seen for a while under safety car. It looks like it's fairly blended, not too many different manufacturers in here, and doing a fairly stellar job here getting through at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly are, and the trouble normally comes as we see a car going straight on at the bus stop. That was one of the Redback Racing team cars. I'd say that's the 119 because it's still got its nose on, but yeah, they had to go straight ahead to avoid carnage there.
Yeah, good defensive drive there, just drove straight through, cops a slowdown, but better than driving into another car, so good peace of mind there to go straight ahead.
Yeah, that's right, and at the moment in Class B, as I was saying, it's being led by Evolution Racing Australia, Tom Jones in the car there, and then right behind him the sister car, Jake Blackhall is in the 228, and Jake's one of the good Evolution Racing Australia drivers. Well, they're all pretty good, But Jake's really, I think, really excelled in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, sorry Benny, another Motorsports Green, looks like they've had an coming together with a GT3 car, so they may have got going again, but looks like there was an incident there with those guys from the start.
Yeah, well, that could have been at the bus stop, because I did see in the background a lot of cones being thrown everywhere, so we'll keep an eye on that. Third is Krusty Demons Racing with Warwick Brown for Class B, and these guys have been doing a stellar job again tonight, and they were running third when we went for our break, I think.
Yeah, doing a great job there, and good to see these boys doing a good job of it, and yeah, it's awesome. Okay, we've also got a car number 119 requesting a tow there, Bernie, so not good again for the Redback Racing team. Sounds like he's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he certainly is. That's we'll get a replay of that. He's heavily into the barriers, and Gary Giorgio was driving that car, and we'll just see exactly what's happened here. So he's actually come unstuck. Where is he? Actually, he's gone straight ahead at the bus stop. So that's a very bizarre incident. And we'll see if we can go back and see that again from another angle. But it just looked like the car wasn't going to turn.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
So he had one of the Nutter Sport Orange, I think it is, right behind him as they came into the bus stop here, and I don't think there was contact though. No, he's just gone straight ahead, and that car didn't even look like it was going to turn to the right there, and he's hit the barrier pretty much flat out. I suspect that's another hardware failure.
Yeah, possibly could be there, Bernie, with that just piling straight through there. It's obviously something's happened and they've had to abort that, so something's gone awry there, which generally does happen.
Oh, it definitely does. That car doesn't have a nose on it now either. Their sister car's also in trouble out there, the 118. Well, the 118's now got a nose put back on it, so that's under repair, but I know one of those cars, I think it was a 118 last round, they were actually disqualified from the race when they rolled back, and it turned out they had a massive hardware failure that day, so hopefully it's not another one for that team, but you know, their luck hasn't gone their way, I guess.
Yeah, not at all. So viewers, we come back from a safety car restart and the actions are plenty, so obviously they're not learning from their mistakes here tonight. Not talking about Redback, but some of these other guys back here in the field where I'm trying to catch up with this other incident that we had with Motorsports Green. And it looks like it's the Swift car there as well.
Yeah, boy, the Swift brothers, or Swift team, they were doing pretty well, weren't they, when we left earlier today? But let's look at Class C at the moment. That's being led by Mad Cow Racing, Frida, the 333, back in the lead. And this car seems to always find its way to the front, doesn't it, as these races progress. Second is the 398 with Kane Kujimiya, ANZ Motorsports. And then third, well, Oceanic Sim Racing, fantastic. This is another strong contender. They're sitting in third at the moment. Matt Nethercote back behind the wheel of that car. Fourth is the 399 Delta Sim Sport. Matt Trotman still in that car. If he's been in it without a break, he's been in it for the last good 4 hours. And then fifth is the 311 G&T Racing with Lewis Kugley behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah, I'll just confirm. Matthew's been in there for a while. He's done 77 laps and 26 laps there for Alex. So, as predicted, Alex said that he's he's jumping in this car and doing a good job like he did last night. So he'd be on the high. He'd be definitely having a bit of fun out there today.
Yeah, it's good to see some people out there having fun. Of course, the people that aren't having fun, if we go down the list here, we've had quite a few retirements. The 327, I think that was from TD Racing, that has retired quite some time ago. We've also lost the 217 All-Star Motorsports car. We interviewed Scott Kozlowski earlier, and he's basically had to retire that car, unfortunately. We did see them go heavily into the wall after contact with another Class B car. We've also lost the 368. That was Blackadder Motorsport. That car was in the walls earlier tonight as well, and that has had to retire. So we've had, all in all, about 4 retirements at this point.
Yeah, not too bad considering the field, so fairly decent, and considering that this track is unforgiving. So, like I said, I think the boys are doing okay. A little bit better than last round, but yeah, I'm still out there in judgment at the moment. Having another safety car again is not good, but it is racing, I suppose, and realistically. You know, it's one of those things, and we've got to see it as it is, and we'll move on.
Well, that's exactly right. That's all we can really do at the moment, and we can see the 218 out there. Brant Tucker's in that car at this stage. They are 7 laps down at the moment, but they are the only car left from All Stars Motorsport at the moment. That car's looking nice and straight though, and not doing too bad. Sorry folks, we've got messages flying backwards and forwards here while we're commentating, but it's always the way. Let's have a look at our penalty sheet. Let's see if I can bring that up. There's been quite a few penalties, but we're only going to go over the last 5 penalties since the previous safety car. So Nutters Motorsport Green, that was involved in the last safety car. Then we had Evolution Racing Australia. They had to pit under a closed pit, so they may have had fuel issues, and they had a drive-through plus a 1-lap hold issued to that team. Redback Racing, the 119, we just saw into the fence heavily, and that's why the safety car's out. Now, there's also, they're looking at the 116 Nutters Motorsport Green again for contact and requesting a safety car, so we'll keep you updated as that unfolds. So this is the 4th safety car in an hour and 40 minutes, and hopefully we'll get back to some racing here, but at the moment they've only done 109 laps of this race, and yeah, it's probably a bit behind schedule as far as the projected laps they thought they were going to turn here today.
Yeah, it certainly is, and at the moment with Brant Tucker, he is in the car at the moment, so we can bring him up quickly and have a quick chat to him. Having a few issues out there tonight, but we'll have a quick chat, and obviously we'll see how he's feeling, and that we'll have a quick word to him if you want to bring him up, Bernie.
Yeah, no worries. Hi Brant, welcome to RRTV's Combox. We won't keep you for too long because you're out there in the car, but we thought we'd cross to you under safety car. How's the 218 going at the moment?
Well, we were first in class, believe it or not. At one point in time we had 2 All-Star Motorsport cars sitting in position 2 and 3 in the class, so yeah, we were really happy about that. PT218 was actually leading the class, and then we got taken out by, not naming any teams, but a team that's well known for causing lots and lots of trouble, and yeah, we're not overly happy about it, especially as team manager. You know, we're not not the fastest, not the biggest team, so when we get these chances to, you know, race in a GNERA and to be leading our class, we relish them because this is what makes, you know, it's what makes a team get better. And unfortunately, there's, you know, one particular team out there that has nearly the entire C7 class entered, and two of their cars have successfully ruined our race. 217 has had to retire, and 218 is sitting down in 33rd at the moment, so nowhere really. Yeah, I'm not sure what can be done, but yeah, something needs to be done because it's been going on for a ridiculous amount of time, and I don't normally come up here and rant, but yeah, tonight I'm exceptionally angry, especially when, you know, we had potentially All-Star Motorsports at least at a minimum a double top 5, which would have been our first double top 5, and to be 2/3 of the race, a third of the race done, and we sit in class, you know, class positions 2 and 3 is a fantastic effort by the guys, considering we were absolutely nowhere last night. We set up until about 9 PM. So another story of what could have been, unfortunately, for All-Star, but yeah, we're not overly happy, and I'll be having a chat to Scott after the race, that's for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. We did see the 217 involved in an incident before we went off air earlier. So did they have some more trouble after that to cause them to retire?
Just, yeah, after that incident with a particular team, that was 16 minutes worth of repairs. Scott and Cody tried to drive it, but we took the biggest step as a team to, you know, the car was undrivable, it was a danger to everyone else, so as opposed to wreck someone else's race through pure stupidity, we decided to withdraw 217, and I think there's a couple of teams out there that could learn from us at least. So yeah, anyway, rather unfortunate. We really stood up this round. We've been we've showed our worth the past few rounds, podium and another strong position for at the 10 out road Atlanta, so you know, we're up there, we're mixing it with the top teams. Just unfortunately potentially could have, you know, maybe by some chance had, you know, a potential race win, a class win for All-Star, which would have just been over the moon, but not to be through, you know, sheer stupidity and lack of talent.
Well, fair enough, and we should let you go, mate, so you can get back to focusing on this race. Would you like to give a shout out to all those sponsors that have been backing you tonight?
Yeah, just a huge thanks to RACcorp, Unlimited Service, K-Centric and Extreme Racing. I'm especially shattered for those guys. It would have been awesome to have them on the podium again for the second time in the season, or you know, even better, potential class win. It would have been awesome to have that beside All-Star and our amazing sponsors, but not to be, so we'll just crack on and see how we can get 218 in the next hour and 45 minutes, hour and 47 minutes, depending on how many safety car laps we've done. I've been in for nearly 40 minutes and have pretty much done my required minimum laps, so if that's any indication, it could be a while yet.
Yeah, well, I think this is the fourth safety car we've seen tonight since we went off air about an hour and 40 minutes ago. But anyway, Brent, bad luck tonight. Hang in there though, mate, and see where you can get that 218 by the end of the night.
Yeah, we'll see that we can get it, and you know, we'll look forward to Spa. I think that's the next round. We've already got it set up from last season when we drove with one performance, so we'll hopefully have a strong baseline to go off there, and hopefully we can really come out guns blazing and just absolutely smash it. Yeah, I think we've improved a butt ton this season and really standing up as a potential podium, consistent podium team, which is good because, you know, we punch far above our weight. So anyway, have fun, guys, and thanks for the broadcast.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So folks, that was Brent Tucker from All Star Motorsports, and I tell you what, Adrian, he does not sound happy at all.
Yeah, not a happy camper. Definitely something that obviously that we're going to get those sort of interviews up here, and yeah, as a team manager, he's not seeing the funny side of it. Obviously, they've had issues with whoever that team is throughout the season. So yeah, the best thing to do is go and speak to admin and try and sort it that way. If you get no pleasure, well then that's part of racing, unfortunately.
Well, that's exactly right, and you know, folks out there watching, we don't censor our interviews, so the drivers are welcome to come up here as long as they don't swear and they remain professional. Then we'll give them a shot at expressing their views, and as long as they don't start explicitly naming other teams, then they can have their say. But as you said, Adrian, some of these teams, they will go back and see race control, and that's their prerogative, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly right. You know, race drivers and race drivers. I mean, plenty of times you've seen interviews in the pit lane after a race or whatever you do. They definitely go off kilter and tell them their views, and they get it sorted that way. But you know, it is what it is, and they've got to go and talk to the right people and get it sorted. If they're not happy with the outcome, well, there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah, that's right, and we can see ABR Simulated. They've coming in. Pete Sattler's jumped into that car, and there's a few guys taking the opportunity while under yellow to take a pit. Tony Clark, Synergy Sim Racing 3 is also in, taking their pit stop, as well as Swift Racing. We haven't seen Joel Petrovsky tonight, but he's jumping into the 363, and they'll be leaving very shortly.
Yeah, so some guys are still using this safety car as a bit of pit strategy. It doesn't give you track position by any means, but it may do later on. And this is the thing, isn't it? Trying to buy that ticket, get yourself into a decent strategy at the end of the race, because you never know when the safety car comes out, and it's just one of those weird things. But it's been full on since the 2-hour mark, hasn't it? These guys have let loose again, and all that talking up I'd done earlier has certainly sort of gone by the wayside, I think.
Yeah, well, we were talking them all up, weren't we, earlier on tonight, but it looks like the tempo of this race has changed a fair bit from the first third of the race, I guess you could say. This last third has been fairly disrupted by safety cars. Got an hour and 43 minutes of this race to go, and we'll see if it settles down into a bit of a rhythm here.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, what have we got? An hour and a half to go. I expected a hard racing from half an hour to go, because that's you got to try and get those positions and move forward. I expected a little bit of hard racing from there, but it's been full on. It's just crazy sort of stuff sometimes, and you know, Watkins Glen is a lot easier track to overtake and be patient with, because you've got plenty of time to overtake and get your moves done. It's not like Road Atlanta, where you've only got a couple of spots that you can do it in cleanly and safely, whereas around Watkins Glen you've got plenty of room to do it and plenty of time to do it as well. So it's just yeah, interesting to say the least, I suppose.
Yeah, that's probably a good word, interesting. But we're about to go green here. Joe Burke at Team TTL will lead them off this time when the safety car comes in, and the last car on the lead lap is Pete Sattler in Team Simulated. They are sitting in 8th at the moment, but the safety car lights are back on, so we're not going green this time by. This will probably allow a few more drivers to take to the pits if they need service.
Yeah, a bit strange this this safety car. It's definitely dragging on this time around. Obviously race control's got some stuff to get sorted, as per normal. It's obviously they're going through some of these penalties, and they're trying to tidy them up as quickly as they can, I suppose. That could be a reasoning behind the safety car, just to tidy up some of these reviews they've got going, because obviously throughout the race they're getting bombarded by penalties or protests as well. So don't forget, viewers, that these guys do have live protests getting sent to them throughout the race, which is a lot of work for these race control volunteers here in AEC.
Oh, it certainly is, and we know that they run on a very shoestring staff, normally 2, if they're lucky they've got 3 up there, But looking, we've got that live feed up on our screens also, folks, and comparing how many incidents they had last race to this time, they've had around about 32 that they've had to investigate, where I think last round they were up into the 80s, weren't they?
Oh, it's just crazy numbers last race, where just a lot of silly things were going on that in the race. Guys were trying to do stuff that just wasn't really sensible. But you know, like I said, Watkins Glen is a little bit easier. Should be a little bit easier to overtake, or you know where they can. I mean, those HPDs have got phenomenal downforce, so they can overtake you on a corner that a GT3, as long as it sticks to its line, it can get around it. So and I think I've been a big advocate of that too, Bernie, is that GT3 cars, stick to your racing line, stay on that racing line, get into the corners, brake when you need to, and the HPD drivers are the guys that have got to go around them. They've got to make the move. They've got to be aware of if they can outbrake that GT3, or if they can wait and then drag them down a straightaway or something like that. And that's where I think a lot of these guys got to understand that's what they've got to do in this race.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying there. It looks like the 119's back out. Gary Giorgio's got out of that car. Michael Trooper's back in, so this is why we're at the safety car, folks. But I suspect Gary's had some sort of hardware failure by the way that car just left the track, and there was no braking or turning happening in that vehicle at all.
Yeah, more than likely, and we do have another person down the green room, but we'll just wait to see what this safety car does. Obviously we want to give you the action before we have an interview, and at the moment we can still see the lights are off on this safety car, so they're coming around the last bend. We'll just see how they go. Turn 11, and the safety car's in. It should go green here, down the front straight away. Waiting for the green flag. Green flag. Here they go, spreading out, three wide down the front straight away again. And we'll see if they can do more than 3 laps this time around, folks.
Yeah, and Joe actually backed him up a fair bit there, which is why now Timothy Schweck's got a jump on him on the inside, and I had a feeling that it was going to get a bit messy, and it may still do, because we've got cars going too wide up through the S's here.
Yeah, good racing, too wide. Joe's having a look on the inside there as they're trundling through. They're still too wide down the back straightaway. They're doing a fantastic job at the moment. So Tim's still holding that position. So great driving there from Tim to get the lead, but relish that lead, because man, isn't Joe a quick driver? So he'll get his rhythm going here, and he might get this position back, but it'll take probably 1 or 2 laps to get that back.
Yeah, and all cars now through the bus stop for the first time after this restart. But Timothy Schweck has put down the hammer. He's leading this race. I think this is the first time this car has led tonight, the car 137. So he'll chalk that up onto the board. Second, Team TTL, but Matt Barron is putting the blowtorch on the back of him in the 100 Dayco entry, and then we've got the 133 right behind him. So you know, Timothy's put the hammer down, and he's starting to try to get a gap here, Adrian.
Yeah, good to see you, Timothy. The Shrekkers are, you know, big advocates of those guys. They were quick, and you know, we've seen them in a lot of series, so good to see them having a good run here tonight, Ben.
Yeah, it is, and yep, they've chalked up their first lap of leading this race tonight, so we'll see how they go. But I'll tell you what, the 100, it's looking racy all of a sudden, and it's starting to put a lot of pressure on the back here of Team TTL, and Dayco Motorsports here in third. They're tucked back in again, and trying to work out where they can make this move.
Yeah, the boys are doing well at the moment. Looks like Josh has got to get himself under control here at the moment, and move his car forward. He has got the pace here at the moment, so he's looking like he'll be alright. It's just that he's looking in his mirror at the moment and just slowing him up, so he can look forward here and try and catch up and see how they go as fourth of boys, excuse me, cameraman starts moving around again.
Yeah, well, normally Team TTL was the pace setter earlier on today, but at the moment he's got his mirrors full of the Dayco entry right behind him, and right behind them is Tryhard's Racing number 7, and that's Aidan Pike there and doing a great job. And then we've got Kurt Stenberg just behind them. Looking at Class B at the moment, well, 226 Evolution Racing Australia, Tom Jones is leading that class at the moment, and their sister car with Jake Blackhole behind the wheel in the 228 right behind them. And then we have 205 has just been overtaken by one of the ERA cars.
Geez, these HPDs are spread out already, haven't they? Taken off. We'll see what's going on here at the moment.
Yeah, well, we're down here with Class B at the moment. The ABR simulated HPD has just cleared one car. I can hear sliding. We've got a car around in the bus stop, and that is Tryhard's Racing 231. Fortunately, no one collected him.
Yeah, it's quite lucky you went around at the bus stop as per normal. So crazy stuff out there at the moment.
Oh, it certainly is, and I thought we were going to go back under safety car again, but fortunately we've got 2 laps down so far. Looking at Class C, well, James Stevenson, Mad Cow Racing, is leading that, but they've got ANZ Motorsport right behind them, and then we've got the Oceanic Sim Racing about 3 cars behind them there, so these guys are having a good race. They're all on the same lap. And then Delta Sim Sport, they're also in the hunt here for a potential podium.
Yeah, it's to see them running. Like I said, Alex last night in the SRA on a high probably from that and doing a great job. And it's good to see this ANZ group up here, isn't it? Not been having the best runs and come up here tonight and having a good one. And same with Oceanic Sim Racing. Remember, they were having a lot of struggles throughout the season and have now jumped into this Audi. They were in the rough, but seem to be doing okay tonight.
Yeah, they definitely do seem to be doing a good job out there. And as I said, they're running 3rd. They've been pretty strong all night actually in that Audi, and it's definitely looking very racy out there. They just got to round up ANZ as well as contend with the HPDs that are trying to get through them as well.
Yeah, it's, once again, I think they do the right thing if they stick to the racing line and keep that GT3 on the racing line, and the HPDs can do all the work. I mean, we know they're quicker. We know that they've got more grip, and if they get down inside you before the turn and they take the racing line on you, well, that's what they've got to do, and you've got to then readdress how you drive. So it's all about, I'm not bagging the GT3 car drivers whatsoever. I'm just thinking that these guys have got to be aware of their surroundings and how to get these cars through this, because obviously with these quick repairs there's not many, and look, I'm sure Race Control definitely wants to start limiting how many they get, even in the longer duration races.
Oh yeah, for sure. The less safety cars you get, everyone gets good racing, and that's what the drivers are here for. But you're dead right, the GT3s do have to have a lot of situational awareness. One eye is normally looking out the front of the car and one's on the mirrors, because the closing speed of these HPDs are absolutely phenomenal, and if you're not looking in your mirrors, you're going to have one all over the back of you before you know it.
Yeah, for sure, those HPDs are really quick against the GT3s, but looks like we've got a few down there waiting for a bit of a chat with us tonight, Bernie, and seeing that we've had a couple of laps under green, I think we've got a bit of time here to have a chat to a couple of them.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about that, folks. I was just busy double tapping on my keyboard, but we'll bring Reece Gardner up in the 100, and Matty Barron's currently in that, and these guys are racing now for top spot. Hi Reece, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and I tell you what, you guys are looking awfully racy up there in the Dayco 100 tonight.
Yeah, we definitely are, Bernie, and we just received word that the 137 car in front of us has gotten a penalty, so we're going to be inheriting the lead.
Well, that's good news for you guys, isn't it? But yeah, earlier on tonight, the team TTL seemed to be the pace setter, but they seem to be fading a little bit as this race goes on.
Yeah, well, Mr. Rogers had the measure of us in terms of pace. We knew that we could match Burkhead, so we were just waiting for him to jump into the car. And you know, we've got a consistent lineup, and we're confident in the car. We've got a good setup, and yeah, it's working out very well for us at the moment. The only problem we're having is the sheer amount of cautions that have happened this race. Like, what's wrong with some people, you know?
Yeah, well, we've had an awful lot, haven't we? I think we've had 4 in the last hour and 40 minutes, and the race seemed to go on as we now have Team TTL on the inside of you, but Matty Barron's closed the door on him. Please don't crash while we've got you on air. Please don't crash.
Yeah, fingers crossed, please. But yeah, it was very, very frustrating in the FSR channel. Like, you know, we'd only be going racing for a couple of laps at a time, and then yet another caution would come out because of, you know, some form of incident. You know, we just want to race. You know, we know we can do it. We know we can win. As we see, oh, please pull it up, Matty, please. Thank you. Oh, don't do. Oh no. Oh dear. That's not really what we wanted to happen. Oh,
No.
and here comes someone. Oh, no.
We'll have a look at the replay of that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, we will.
it looked like, from what I could tell, TDR had to check up a little bit there, but let's have a look at the slow-mo and see what's occurred.
It's just one of those, I think it's just one of those things, like, you know, when you're in the bus stop and you've got a GT car in front of you, you're not used to going that slow in the HPD, and I think Squizzer was just caught out, but, yeah, I mean, who knows, we might get a penalty for that. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, but still, got my fingers crossed that we'll escape. But yeah, that's a real shame, and apologies to 137 for that.
Yeah, well, they're just getting that car going now, and fortunately it doesn't look like it's very heavily damaged, so that's probably a plus for that car, but they do have to serve a drive-through as well.
Yeah, they do.
It looks like Tryhards has taken the lead.
Okay, wasn't expecting that. I didn't realise they were that close, but still. Careful, please, careful. Alright, here we go. Coming up to a GT car now. Coming up to the bus stop. This is not going to work. Someone's going to have to yield. It's Squizzer. And oh, that's so frustrating when that happens. But fortunately, you can just zoom right by on the outside of Carousel, just like that.
Yeah, so we can see now Tryhards is in the lead from Dayco Motorsports, and then we've got Team TL in third. Now, we saw Tryhards make a great move on Team TTL prior to that incident where they are now, so that car, it's got some pace, I tell you.
Yeah, it definitely has. Aiden Blake's doing a good job there at the moment. I guess now it's just a case of, you know, we've got under 90 minutes to go. We've still got to try and minimise incidents.
Yeah, and we just had word from Race Control, Reese, that you guys have got a drive-through for that incident on the 137. So Maddie's going to have to do the walk of shame here soon. But the 137 also has a drive-through. Yeah,
they do. But you know, we'll take that penalty and just try and stay in as much as we can.
Yeah, that's right. But to be fair, it's pretty hard when you come up to GTs in that area, and I know after you drive a HPD, you get caught up behind a GT, and it just feels like you got your pit limiter on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. Well, Maddie should be coming in very soon. Just want to try and minimise the time loss from this. We know that we've got the pace to get up there. I guess now we're in the position where we'll be hoping for a caution to get a leg up on the competitors again.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee you there will be another caution anyway, but before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors there?
Yeah, of course. Dayco, GT Omega and TPR Engineering are major sponsors. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you very much to our new sponsor, Dynamic Sim Racing, high-quality sim racing parts. Make sure to check them out. And also Nulex Construction, Powerbond, and GTI. Thank you very much to all of you for your support of our team.
Fantastic, and it's great to see all those businesses backing your team. And also the 101, I tell you what, that's looking racy as well, and no doubt they're going to move up into probably second position very shortly.
Yeah, as Stenny's attacking the TTL car now. Look at him go. This is really good. Stenny's just absolutely come alive in this car, taking the win with me in Monza, and being a really good steerer all throughout this AEC season. So yeah, massive thanks to him for his services.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, Reese, it's always a pleasure talking to you, mate. I didn't want your car to be involved in an incident while I was talking to you, though, but we'll just have to deal with that one.
Yeah, it's no problem.
All right, mate.
Much of a believer in commentators' curse, so no hard feelings.
No worries. All right, mate, well, we'll catch up again soon.
All right, catch you later, Bernie. Thank you.
So folks, that was Reese Gardner, Dayco 100. That car does have to serve a drive-through penalty for contact with the 137, and we can expect them to be coming in any time soon. But I'll tell you what, that 133 has the pace. It's starting to get a bit of a gap up. Once Matthew Barron comes in, they're going to have a handy gap of about 2.5 seconds, because Team TTL now are under a lot of pressure from the 101. If we look right behind them, Kane Kujimiya is also attacking Mad Cow Racing for the lead of Class C.
Moo.
Oh, you're back again. Yeah, so while you were gone there, Adrian, the 100 got into the back of the 137 during our interview. They've got a drive-through penalty now. That's a 100. And the battle with the 333 and 398 in Class C has heated up as well.
Yeah, I'll have to check some of those. Yes, I was a bit occupied there getting some stuff sorted. So once we get through that, yeah, we can bring up the next two interviewers. They are both from ERA. I'll let you know. We've got Ian Ford and Brenton O'Brien. Brenton is the manager for that team, and they're doing fantastic at the moment in Class B.
Well, they certainly are. They're running at the moment first, third and fourth, I think it is. No, first, third and fifth.
Yeah, just checking on mine. Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh, yeah, my telemetry's playing around a bit at the moment. I got Krusty Demons in first at the moment, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring them up now and have a quick chat with them, but it's all happening in Class A, that's for sure. And it looks like Matthew Barron has jumped out of that car and I'm just looking at who's going to jump in. They had to do a drive-through penalty, but they're sitting in the pits at the moment, and Matthews got out of that car.
Yeah, it's gone crazy again. I don't know how many times we've gone through this, and being a little bit more reserved this time around, Bernie, I think we can see how crazy he is out on that track. So it is what it is. We'll call the race as we see it, and we'll keep going. And yeah, no, it's a crazy old race tonight, and we'll see how it pans out with what we've got just over an hour and 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely changed its temperature in this race tonight. But let's bring up Brenton O'Brien and Ian Ford.
Had one yet.
Hi Brenton and Ian, welcome to RRTV's Combox, mate. It's another great showing here by ERA in Class B.
Don't think we've led as many laps as the safety car though, Bernie, but we are working on it.
Yeah, well, I don't think many people have led as many laps as that safety car tonight, but we've got the 226 looking like it's leading this class, and Tom Jones is doing a fantastic job. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jake Blackhall's right in second in the 228, and then the 229, where's that sitting? That's probably
223.
Down... The 223?
Yeah.
Oh, Zach Henlon, they're down a fair bit, so they've been in a bit of trouble, have they?
Well, the 226 has had a pretty clean run, to be honest with you. Blake Coppo made a bit of a mistake back about lap 79, lap 80. Cost us about 30 seconds by the time he was able to get back on track. But you know, with all the safety cars, it doesn't hurt you that much, does it? The 228 got caught up in somebody else's mistake really early, and actually they were 2 laps down. So for them to be where they are now with Simon Feiger and Jake Blackwell is an exceptional performance, and 40 can talk all about 223.
Yeah, the 223's just been placed back a little bit by an incident where about 5 HPDs all came together up through the S's, and basically we had nowhere to go and had to pit under safety car, which gave us a 2-minute hold. So just going to cruise around, make sure we make the end of the race now.
Yeah, and we've got Tryhards Racing 2 going extremely slow here. Down the back part of the circuit just after the bus stop. Let's just having a look at the replay. He's got it going, so thank goodness we're not going under safety car again. But you're saying, Ian, that you had some dramas with the HPDs out there?
Yeah, just on one of the restarts, all the HPDs sort of bottled up the S's and all started coming together, and we just had nowhere to really go. We just reacted and went the wrong way and ended up with them. But you know, that's just how racing is. We led a few laps today, and you know, considering that this car was pretty much going to be parked the other day, it's like it's a pretty good achievement to actually be running competitively for most of the race. And you know, we just can't wait until the end of the race. Hopefully there's no more cautions and we just run flat stick to the end.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a fast finish to this race as far as race pace goes. But we were talking earlier about that amazing drive we saw in the SDRT by Evolution Racing Australia. We haven't been keeping a close eye on your guys' pit strategy, but have you guys been foxy about your race strategy again?
Not really from me and from our 223 and the 228, I think it is. At our point of view, it's just mainly been trying to keep track position and try and stay out of the way of all the HPDs, make sure that they're not behind you, and you know, stay in front of the GT3 field on the restarts, because they bottle up quite nicely in turn 1, and the S's, like, no fault of their own, it's just the cars. But you know, other than that, we're not really playing any smart strategies or anything. We're just trying to run it dry and make sure that we get to the end with about 1 more stop to go.
Yeah, well, it's definitely working for you guys. You know, the top 2 cars at the moment, and in fact, you know, ERA's been strong all day out there in Class B. Let's face it. At one point, you had 3 cars up there. I think it was 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at one point.
Yeah, certainly. That's how we started off the race as well. We got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the start, and pretty much just ran around like line astern, making sure that we didn't make any mistakes during that opening stint. And yeah, we've just been trying to follow the same strategy, and like sort of look after each other, make sure that you know what the other cars are doing. That way you don't stumble over each other awkwardly during traffic and all that sort of thing. But yeah, other than that, I think it's it's a great achievement for most of our drivers, and everyone behind the scenes to actually be awake, especially after only going to sleep at like 6:30 this morning.
Yeah, well, we heard you guys are doing the blank pain 6hr, I think it was, and how did that go for you?
Yeah, good. We qualified 23rd. There was about 0.2 of a second separating 8th and 23rd, so we were a tiny bit off the pace in quali, but it wasn't anything that we could really change. So we just went into full attack mode for the race and tried playing a bit of a smart strategy towards the end and not taking tyres, and it improved our finishing position by 1 spot, but we struggled for pace in the last about 15 laps of the race. But came home 12th. That's a fantastic achievement for any team really in such a competitive series, and yeah, it's amazing to pretty much be the only Australian team still on the lead lap. Kudos to Mad Cow and everyone like that for actually basically soldiering on during that race.
Fantastic, that's an awesome effort. And before we let you go, guys, as we always do you want to give a shout out to all the sponsors that back these great cars of yours?
Brendan's got this one.
Oh no, sorry, no, you've done a good job. No, look, to our usual sponsors, MPMS Racing Simulators, great to have Benke and the crew on board there from West End. So if you need to get into the sim racing world and go and have a look, make sure you, if you're in Brisbane, go have a look at them. Logitech G have been really, really solid supporters for us for over a couple of months now, and they continue to do wonderful things for us and our team. The new one we talked about a couple of weeks ago, but anyway, might have been last week, with the MS Limited Edition. So always supporting a good cause with multiple sclerosis, and it's going well at the moment. It's going really, really well. But if anyone's out there, make sure you maintain your enthusiasm to support such a good cause. Joel's retiring, which we don't normally promote too much, but that's probably more for last night's race. During the blank pain 6hr race, there was a significant help. Maverick Welding being a long time sponsor of ours, and GTI can't go without what they do with their springs that mod the G27, G25 pedals. But just as importantly, Bernie, as we do every time we speak to yourself and Adrian, you guys for putting the show on, and also Scotty Stevens, Brock Kramer and Heath Brennan. Pretty sure I got that right tonight, where those guys have put up with a lot, so hopefully they'll enjoy the rest of the day off after this finishes.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, and their investigations are a lot lower than last round, so they might actually get to bed before midnight tonight.
Yeah, hopefully they will.
Alright guys, well as always it's a pleasure talking to you both, and best of luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully we'll see these two cars on the podium.
Cheers Bernie, cheers Adrian.
Cheers guys.
So Adrian, it's looking pretty racy out there. We've covered quite a few laps now under safety car, which is good.
Yeah, it makes for a change, doesn't it? No safety car for a little bit, but yeah, just hopefully the guys have settled back down again. I just don't understand the mentality out there sometimes. I know they're racers and they've got to go as quickly as possible, but at the expense of other drivers and themselves, I just don't think it's worth it. And, I think it's funny. Yes, it is simulation. I understand that and all that sort of jargon, but this simulation is supposed to be more realistic, and the guys just seem to barrel in there like it's no tomorrow, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, what can you say? It's something that is a mentality thing, isn't it? And the guys some of them have to approach this e-sport a little differently, I think. But I tell you what, the fireworks are about to ramp up a little bit in Class A, because Josh Rogers has jumped back into Team TTL, and he was extremely fast in the first third of the race, and we've got a car into the fence on the outside of the bus stop.
Surprise, surprise.
So we're having a look. I think it is the... just have a look at this and see if it was a Tryhards racing car. I have a feeling it was. We'll just look at this footage and see if it is or not. Yeah, so having a look, Rick Summerhayes driving the Mercedes, and it's a pretty much standard thing that we see with the Mercedes, losing it halfway through the bus stop, and as we know, there's no coming back from that, and straight into the wall.
Yeah, it's tough, that bus, but definitely catches a lot of guys out, and it is an issue for a lot of guys, yeah, it's one of those things. You should know by now that's going to be biting you at some stage or another, but oh well, it is racing, and maybe the tyre sets aren't quite where they need to be.
Yeah, it's he's just trying to get this car back. He's got a bit of, as he's sitting right on the racing line there, doing about half the pace of the GT3s, and I know he's trying to keep it out of the way, but possibly not on that line, Rick. Not on that line, mate. Hopefully he'll get it back to the pits here.
Yeah, it's not a good thing when you're getting in the road of everyone else, for sure.
Oh, well, as we know, you don't have many options here at Watkins Glen when you're in the final corners there, do you? And let's have a look. Oh, he's crashed it coming in to pit lane. So trying to get it into his pit box, that could just be a bit of frustration going on.
Oh yes, if it's heavily damaged, it could be.
He was struggling with a bit of steering on that car, but he did a good job getting it in there. At the moment though, the 133 Tryhards Racing, Aidan Pike behind the wheel, he's all of a sudden this car's lit up, and he's got a huge gap forming here as the other cars have had to pit.
Yeah, once again, it's the time of the night where it's getting close to pit stops, isn't it? Getting close to that 5-hour mark, and the guys will be looking to pit. Some of them will be. I reckon some will be looking at that last half-hour mark as well. So those guys might be in a little bit more of a bird seat. They can get some fresh tyres on and less fuel. So obviously those cars will be at probably a second a lap quicker than the rest of the guys.
Yeah, well that's right, because with all those safety cars, it's probably readjusted a lot of the strategies of these teams, and as far as when they have to pit now, I think they're going to all be staggered.
Yeah, well that's it, you know. So, realistically, we're not going to be able to tell anyone anything really where they stand until we get to that half an hour mark, maybe even 20 minutes. You know, if you done played the safety car strategy, it could be with 20 minutes to go, come in, put a little bit of fuel in, throw some fresh rubber on, and you could look like a champion.
Yeah, well that's right, and we know what happens when you get fresh rubber on and everyone doesn't have it. You generally do look like a champion, but at the moment, Tryhard 7, that gap is 51 seconds back to Team TTL, and the reason for that is Team TTL have pitted and they've put Josh Rogers back into that car, and I'd expect him to take the car home from here. Just behind them is FSR Dayco Motorsport. Scott Connors has been put back into that car after their pit stop to bring that car home, and then the 137 sitting in 4th position. Good recovery from this car. They had a drive-through, then they were involved in that incident with the 100, but they're back up into 4th, and they're 65 seconds down from the lead, which will of course change once Aidan Pike brings that car in. And then we've got Matty Barron here in Dayco 100 in 5th position after having to serve that drive-through.
Yes, so we'll see how they go. They're not doing too bad, are they? Still reserved. I think there has been great racing, and I think the guys have also shown what I was talking about the last time they were racing. So still think they've got a little bit more improvement to do, and I'll have to check to see where they're racing next, because if it's a 12-hour round next race, they only got one quick repair. That's going to be a long race for the boys.
Oh, it certainly will be, and I'll tell you what, Class C, for all the mad cows out there, you better get up and start cheering, because the 333, they have taken the lead back in Class C. That gap at the moment, back to Oceanic Sim Racing, 6.7 seconds. James Stevenson's driving Frida at the moment and really pulling out on them. And then third is Matt Trotman for Delta Sim Sport. We saw Alex Pole take this car to victory last night in the SRA Clubman Championship, and we'll see if they can do that again tonight. And then Lewis Kugerly in G&T Racing is sitting in 4th position. So all of a sudden, Adrian, the BMWs are starting to dominate Class C.
Yeah, doing a great job. Alex and Matt Trotman in that Audi. I wonder if they brought that one over from Road Atlanta and see if they brought that winning vehicle over and used it at Watkins today.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? If I was that team manager, I think I would ship it over, because that car was performing brilliantly last night, and you know, if you can do that again with a good car, you definitely bring it to Watkins Glen.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's it was a great race from Alex, and I think first podium in the #1 spot, so well done to him, and you know, a good backup driver for Matt tonight, and doing a fantastic job.
Certainly he's doing a great job here, but I tell you what, the pressure's on with Lewis Kugerly, Guy Leach. They're battling it out here for position, and who we got, Nathan Hapats is a fair ways off, but Guy's really trying to get on the back of Lewis Kugerly here.
Yeah, would you believe my camera decided to change, so I'll miss that action at the moment.
Yeah, and the guy's now having to go a bit wide. That's going to cost him a bit. He had HPD come through on the inside. He's got a Tryhards car right behind him as well, and I think that car's a lap down though. Now the Tryhards has gone through, and all that's done is let Lewis Kugerly get up the road.
Yeah, it certainly has, hasn't it? Lewis is broken away there, but HPD is coming around to give them some more grief again. Yeah,
and it's one of those things. Guy just got caught at the wrong time by those HPDs and the Corvettes, and that other Tryhards Mercedes coming through, that it's just cost him a lot of time, but no fault of his own. He basically had to take that outside line because the inside was no longer available to him.
And Brad Wooten there's getting through at the moment. I haven't seen Brad for a while. He's running for Tryhards, so got a ride tonight for Tryhards. In position 31.
Fantastic. It's great to see him behind the wheel again, and I tell you what, that I think it might have been Nutters Motorsport Green almost contacted G&T Racing BMW there coming up through the S's, but I tell you what, it was mighty close.
Yeah, tough racing. These guys are still racing for sheep stations at the moment, and we've still got an hour of racing to go.
Yeah, well, we're watching the 101 come through. He's taking a lot of risks here, but the reason is he's got Justin Richardson putting a lot of pressure on him at the moment, and they go too wide here, and Justin's had to tuck back in. Scott Connors takes back that second position, but I tell you what, these two HPDs, they're fighting it out.
Yeah, certainly are, aren't they? And definitely throwing on a bit of racing here at the moment.
Yeah, well, the classes are all shuffled up, and so you've got HPDs overtaking Corvettes and GTs, and then the Corvettes are coming straight up on the GTs, and I tell you what, I would not want to be in one of these GT3s tonight.
Yeah, it's when would you like to be in a GT3? Let's be honest, especially in multi-class racing. It's such a tough gig, isn't it? And you know, that's why I'm a pretty big advocate for these boys, just to sit on their racing line unless they've got a car up on the inside of them. But generally, yeah, it's a tough gig in those GT3s.
It certainly is, and you know, those guys are driving those cars just as hard as the other classes, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, and they're racing pole position in their own class, and oh, as I see a HPD go sideways into some sort of barrier.
Having a look at our replay, hopefully it wasn't Justin Richardson, and no, it wasn't, so that's a good thing. Justin's down to 5th though, and he was putting pressure on second, so maybe Justin did have a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, it was Justin. Got him on here now. I'm just going to see how bad he hit here, because he was sliding. Oh no, he didn't hit the barrier, so he was quite lucky there. He didn't hit the barrier, but lost a lot of time and position. Right down into 5th position, so lost a few out of that slide.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at this replay here now to see where he came unstuck and see how he is. Oh yeah, I tell you what, if he didn't hit a barrier here, he's been mighty lucky, that's for sure.
Yeah, just got booked there from another HPD, and just want to pick up who that was.
You know, I think his saving grace for that, Adrian, was the fact that he could spear up that the road that normally makes up the short course.
He had such a run on the outside of that GT3, and he had his teammate that came washed back up to take his racing line, and then he's braked, and because he was on the outside there braking, it's just broken the car loose there. And yeah, you're right, because it slid up that part of the NASCAR circuit there, he's been lucky that it spun around, and plenty of runoff there.
Yeah, at first when I saw that replay I thought he was going for that fence, but yeah, I think he was lucky to get away with that. But he's 27 seconds down now, so he dropped a good 13 to 15 seconds in that incident.
Yeah, it's a big lose as he now catches up to his teammate, and yeah, gets through him now. So just trying to avoid his teammate there, and because he braked, it seemed to break the rear of the car. So, which is something that I'm finding with a lot with these cars lately. Instead of locking the front brakes, you actually get in the rear to turn around, which is a little bit weird for me at the moment. So maybe it's just my braking bias at the moment.
Yeah, it sounds like you might need to adjust the brake bias a bit, but I tell you what, Josh Rogers is back in the lead of this race. 17 seconds is the gap from Team TTL back to Scott Connors for FSR Dayco Motorsport 101 in second. And 3 seconds up the road, of course, is Carnet TDR. These guys are doing a great job, and Colin Schweck's back in that car.
Yeah, no, it's good to see the boys on the podium. You know, they've been fairly regular guys up front there, but haven't had their fair share of troubles through this race as well. I believe they got done for jumping the start there at one stage, so you know, get caught out, and you've got to pay the price for that.
Yeah, you certainly do. And having a look here at Oceanic Sim Racing, we've got Simon Black in the car there now for Speed TV, and doing a good job there. I'm just seeing where they're positioned after that pit stop. He's sitting in about 7th in class at the moment. As far as Class C goes, well, G&T Racing have taken this lead back, and I think that's because the other cars have stopped. But we've got G&T Racing in first, 314. Selby Racing is now second. Third is the 398 of ANZ Motorsports. And then Frida is now, according to this, 1 lap down and sitting in fourth. So I wonder if something's happened to that car or if it's due to pit stop.
Well, it's we got a pit stop because it looks like Scott's in the car, so I'll just check that information. Yeah, Scott's in the car. He's got to get a few laps done here, so geez, James Stevenson, what a mad drive. He's done 128 laps, Bernie, so he's done the majority of the race here, so at the moment it looks like Scott's got to do 20 in less than, what, 50 minutes, around 55 minutes, so they better hope they don't get safety cars, because their laps will run out pretty quickly.
Oh, they certainly will. We know when a safety car does come out, it's generally out for a good 5 laps, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I think that might be saving a bit so he can get as many as he's done. He's done 5 laps, so he's got about 15 laps to do to get his minimum requirement in, so a little bit of work there for Scott to get through. Obviously he'll have to do a bit more than 20 though. I think if James jumps back in the car, you know, they'll change, but I can't see Scott getting out the car now. He'll drive to the end. Yeah,
I'd say he'll need to, but at the moment a few more penalties have been issued. Troy Hart's 336 have been issued a drive-through for unsafe re-entry and having contact with the 367. Redback Racing Team, the 119, their night continues to go worse than what it was. They have been given a drive-through for jumping the start on the restart. So that's an interesting one. And then 116 Nutters Motorsport Green, they've been giving a warning for barging on the 311. So they've been given the first warning on that, and those two were given through other teams protesting them. It looks like our Class C leader, Lewis Kugley, is in the pits at the moment taking service.
Yeah, that puts Nathan Habats into the lead, so good to see the Selby car up in the lead here at the moment. They've had a hard run this season, haven't they?
They certainly have, and it looks like they've had a hard run tonight by the looks of that rear spoiler. I don't know how much downforce that thing would be giving them, but must be giving them something.
Can't be as great as those V8 supercars when they lose the rear dick. Oops. Oh yeah, that one lid.
Yeah, when they lose that rear boot lid and they still have full downforce.
Yeah, that's crazy sort of stuff, and I suppose it is what it is, and he'll get sorted at some stage. But yeah, yeah, it's still working. It's not off at least. Might be a little bit bent, but probably suits the drivers quite well.
Definitely looks like it. And these guys are one lap up on the other guys. Oh, that doesn't work. He's hidden to the fence, heavily into the fence there.
It's probably just trying to readjust the other side of that wing, I think there, Bernie, just to make it get that same sort of feel to it.
Yeah, but the problem is now that wing's too low, so he's going to have to hit the other wall to make the other wing drop down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, probably it might help the aero for those all those right-handers. It might make it go a bit quicker.
Yeah, possibly, but you'll have to ask him that after the race if it's improved it or not, but it definitely hasn't made it any worse.
Yeah, well for now, we're not driving the car, so at the moment it's just not like that I'm going to worry if it's worse for him because I'm not driving it.
Yeah, well it looks like he's actually broken the rear. Oh, we've got another car. Looks like it's one of the Evolution Racing Australia cars into the fence.
Yeah, poor old Zach Hanlon there in a 223, so their night is not going the way that they planned, is it?
No, it's definitely not, and they were very strong earlier tonight, weren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, what can you say about the ERA? Probably one of the top teams out here. Fairly solid. You heard how well they went in the Plank Pain series. Did well in the SRDT series a couple of weeks ago on Friday night. So just a solid team on overall, and probably one of the big teams that actually put in a lot of effort to promote this racing full on, and to get the sponsors that they do is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it certainly is, and I tell you what, he was giving a room there for Team TTL HPD to go through, and he got out there on the marbles, and once you're out there, it gets a bit slippery.
Yeah, if you're talking about the toe, it's not a very good place to be out wide. You've got to keep it fairly well much from the centre of that toe. So basically, the centre of the track to the inside, you got to keep that car. If you go past that halfway mark, it seems to flatten out, doesn't it? So if you get out there, it certainly unsettles the car, and then you end up looping it.
Yeah, which is pretty much what he did there, and tell you what, if you get offline there, that fence tries to suck you in, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like I said, this track is a fairly decent track. I do like it. There's a lot of corners that will eat you up, even coming around here, coming up to turn 9. That can catch quite a few guys out as well, but looks like they're behaving themselves around turn 9 tonight, but the general spots are catching these guys out.
Yeah, it's caught a few of them out, that's for sure. And speaking about catching you out, we've got Mr. Tim Ballinger down there for Team TD Racing as Colin Schweck brings their HPD in for service. So I might bring him up, and you can have a bit of a banter with the old man.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey Tim, welcome to the RRTV comms. Looks like your night's not been progressing too well at all.
Oh no, Pat and I were out early. Yeah, one of the other GT3s made a bit of a bold move up the inside and bent the car, and yeah, we've done the motor the whole lot. So rather than be 20 laps down trying to drive a broken car, we called it quits.
Yeah, fair enough. But the boys in the 137 looks like they're doing a stellar job tonight.
Yeah, just doing what they've done all season, mate. Keeping it clean and getting the laps done, and yeah, they'll finish. Looks like another podium for them, which is a brilliant result for those three boys.
Yeah, and it looks like he copped a penalty on one of the restarts there, jumping the start. So a little bit of eager move possible.
We're not trying to just jump in the start, or I don't think they're actually directly behind the car in front at the start. There's nowhere in the rules where it's a single line restart, so we're not sure, but we'll just take it on the chin and keep going.
Yeah, fair enough. But it's looking good, hasn't it? The boys have been doing a stellar job all season long, and I mean, that's why they're up there leading the championship at the moment with all those points, is that they're keeping their car clean, trying to do the best and keeping those incident points down and getting a good result.
Oh yeah, they definitely are, you know, I mean, but before each race they tell each other, you know, no incidents, let's just get there in the last hour and see where we're at, and 9 times out of 10 they're on the lead lap in the top 3, and just their consistency's got them on top of the championship at this point.
Yeah, it's not something to snub away either, especially when you get the likes of Josh out here that, you know, can just absolutely smash the field with his speed. You know, he's just a crazy driver in the sense that he's just got phenomenal speed in anything he drives.
Yeah, you could put him in a shopping trolley and he'd run rings around most of the people. He's just a very talented driver, and you know, TTL are lucky to have him, and you know, but we do the best we've got with what we've got, and yeah, we don't do too badly, believe.
No, you're doing a great job there. I'm not trying to be biased, but you're doing a great job, and I notice you're sporting a new paint job again. I see that someone's been hard at work for a couple of weeks.
I haven't been hard at work. The boss rang me up a couple of weeks ago and said I could have a couple of weeks off. It's slack at work, so yeah, nothing planned for holidays, so you end up painting a few cars. I had a bit of time on my hands, and hopefully people enjoy them. They've come out alright.
They're looking quite smick. They do look nice on the cars. You're doing a pretty bang up job of that. At least you've had a couple of weeks off. You're not overly tired. I bet you it's been hard to try and keep yourself entertained getting these cars sorted for these races.
Oh no, the boys have been pretty good. Colin does most of the setup work. He just every now and then sort of asks me for advice, and I think last week we put some work into the shocks to try and get it through the bus stop. I think every car out there has been struggling with the bumps through there, and we managed to get that and the Mercedes to ride really well through there. We had good pace in the Mercedes too, and wasn't pushing it early. I think with 2.5 hours into the race we had 0 incidents on the board, and yeah, someone got a bit ambitious and they went the race.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty well much common story at the moment, isn't it? I think I'm going to stir the pot here, but just the way that guys are racing, I wasn't very generous in the last broadcast, but I thought that this racing standards was a little bit better, but it seemed to go down hill quite quickly around the 2 hour mark, and it looks like it's okay at the moment, but still not pleasant to watch at the moment.
I think the biggest thing probably over the last few rounds is the new way they're doing the safety car. You get a lot of blokes, like you're doing 9 laps behind the safety car, and one gets a bit toey. I think when the restarts happen, it's just mayhem. And you know, I can only see it from our point of view on the GT3. It's really not worth continuing the series at the moment. Just, you know, you put so much effort into setting up a car, getting drivers ready, and yeah, and then just for no reason at all, people can't race for 6 hours and stop and beat.
Yes, it's tough. You know, I'm sure as a team, you guys yourself, you put in a lot of effort to get these cars to handle the way you want for this amount of time. And obviously, it takes a long time to get these cars sorted, and to have your car basically taken out within the first few hours of a race is not pleasant, especially in what we call endurance rounds. So it's definitely a bitter pill to swallow.
Oh yeah, but that's endurance racing too, you know, we'll calm down and get over it.
Oh yeah, for sure, but I think the standards that these guys have got to start understanding that, you know, AEC definitely want to take this series to the next level, which I think in their minds it should do. I think in Bernie's and my eyes, I think the drivers out there should be able to take it to that level. It's just some guys aren't looking at longevity and keeping their car together for the last half hour.
I think probably the biggest thing long term they've probably got to look at is the drivers that are coming and going on a event by event basis. And I think that's the biggest thing, that there probably has to be like some limit you have to be able to reach before you're allowed to go out there and compete in an endurance race, I suppose, if you look at it that way, rather than just throwing people who haven't been there before too. So like we got taken out tonight by a name I haven't seen before, so I guess that explains it too.
Yeah, fair enough. I suppose that's something that we, you know, I'm sure the guys in AEC are definitely looking at and want to improve this series. I mean, it is a premier series, don't get me wrong. I think it's probably the best endurance series that I've seen, and glad to be a part of it here with Bernie to commentate on, but sort of been a little bit disappointed in the last few races. I mean, we've had that in the first season, first ever season for this race, which you were a part of, and it was absolutely carnage at Daytona the first time around. But it seems to be happens at the beginning of the year, and then as we go along, it progressively gets better. But for some reason, it was sort of okay at Daytona, and got good, but now it's sort of going backwards again.
Oh yeah, but I suppose I look at it too, like with us withdrawing the car tonight, it's not something as a team manager you want to do, but I also look at like how much effort we put into building setups, getting the car right, and I didn't want to be out there in a damaged car, maybe risking someone else who's put in that effort that's had a clean race. That's why we withdrew the car, for the benefit of the other competitors, not for us.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've got no issue with that. Teams have got to make a call, and I see a lot of teams do that. We had Grant that was up here. He had a heavily damaged Corvette, and they ended up calling that car out because they didn't think it was worthwhile being on the track because it was that badly damaged. So they've done the same thing. So obviously there's teams out there that have that same mindset, which is good for the racing, but obviously other teams out there are in the same frame of mind.
Ah, well, that's, like I said, that's a call for each team person for race control, yeah, so that's an individual decision. I mean, I look at it from me personally, I'd hate to be out there in a damaged car and take someone else out. I'd feel like absolute rubbish, so, you know, that's just me personally.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's why we ask these questions, to get opinions up, and, you know, everyone's got their own opinion, obviously. We don't like to try and abuse that sort of power, and obviously we get everyone up here and ask these questions, but no, at least the 137 is doing a good job. Down in 5th on my telemetry at the moment, which I don't think is correct, but it could be. But no, doing good. Before we let you go, you want to put a shout out there, mate, and I know you don't have any sponsors, but put a shout out there to the boys, and know they'll be listening, and be good for those boys to hear their name on the broadcast tonight.
Yeah, just big shout out to the boys, the 137, Aaron, Colin and Tim. They put in a heap of work and they're getting the results each race. Big thanks to Pat for coming in and helping out tonight when we had no one else. So, yeah, shame it ended for us like that, but it's good to see the 137 still out there rumbling around, and hopefully by the end of it they'll get a podium. Big shout out to Scotty and all the boys at the AC Control. They're doing an amazing job, and of course big shout out to you and Bernie for all you do for us.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's always a pleasure to get the drivers up here, and the team managers obviously as well. So keep up the good work. Doing a great job out there as a team, and always good to have you guys in the races. Obviously, without you guys, we don't have this, and we can't broadcast on it. So well done, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, mate. Enjoy the rest of the race, fellas.
Yeah, and while you were going through that interview, Adrian, we saw a very close call for the 137. He was coming up through the S's there to overtake the 398, which was ANZ Motorsport Audi, which got loose in front of him, hit the wall. The Audis then limped it back through the NASCAR loop and lost control and hit HPD just in front of the Carnet TDR again. So two close calls in that one lap for that car.
Yeah, not good for those guys. They're doing a great job, and once again, you know, it's good to get the boss up here and have an opinion. Always ask those questions, get the feeling from the teams and the drivers themselves. But yeah, just watching then, I saw Zach, he had a little bit of a loop, and man, he nearly got taken out by another Corvette there. So not a good night for Zach. I might have to jump off him here at the moment and go somewhere else.
Yeah, it gets a bit that way, doesn't it, with when you're having a bad night. It just seems to get worse, doesn't it, as the race progresses.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, the view there with Tim, you could hear, you know, yeah, you can get the car fixed, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can sit there and get it fixed, but sometimes when they get fixed, they aren't brand new. They're fixed to what they can do in pit lane. So they could have still a bent steering, and what that means is that you could go into the corner 5 times out of 6, and then when you get to that corner the 6th time, it'll do something freaky on you, and you could take someone out. So basically, they've called it, well, we won't do that, and we'll let everyone else have a race without that sort of issue.
Yeah, well, that's right, and you're dead right about that. But some people may think the cars are brought back to brand new when you pit them and get all that repairs, but they don't. As you said, it's basically the pit crew trying to put the car back together in as drivable configuration as they can manage.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm not sure if iRacing has got a system in there, because I know you could drive a few laps in the car and go through the same corner the same way in the same position, but for some reason you'll go through there at another lap, and the thing will just do something that you're not totally used to, and that's when you can have an accident and take someone else out. So that's what I think Tim was getting at.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think that's what he was getting at, and we've seen a few teams pull the plug because their cars are deemed by them to be unsafe, and I applaud that, because there's nothing worse than you taking your car out and then spoiling someone else's race.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's just the way way some of these guys race. I mean, it's good to see, and it's good to hear that they're doing it. I mean, you know, it is racing. Sometimes this happens. Guys think they can keep running, and that's fine. That, you know, they think the car's fine. But like I said, I think I've had that situation before. I've gone in and got a car fixed, and I've gone back out there, and for some reason it's done something funky, and I end up crashing it. So I know that those repairs are not brand new repairs. They're just as best as they can do in a pit lane. So I think that's something that some guys probably not aware of and are finding out as they race in these series.
Oh, that's right. And we saw earlier on a car that had taken service and came out and was still crabbing, and that was a prime example of the team trying to get a car back together and just haven't managed to fix all the damage on it. So it's time for a bit of an update here, folks, of our 3 classes. We've got 33 minutes of this race to go. At the moment, Team TTL with Josh Rogers behind the wheel are leading Class A. Their gap is the live gap, 35 seconds at the moment, back to Justin Richardson. It was 16 seconds, but I'd say Justin's had a bit of an off this lap because he's lost a good 20 seconds in this lap alone. Looking at third, we have Colin Schweck, Carnet TDR, 17 seconds down from Tryhard 7. Fourth, Matthew Barron in the 100 Daco Motorsports. This car's extremely racy, but they had to serve a drive-through, and they're still trying to recover from that. And then right behind them is Leon Tander in the 130 Boost Juice entry. This car, it's been racy, it just hasn't gone its way tonight, so it's trying to recover from a poor showing at this point in time. Looking at Class B, well, we've got the 226 Evolution Racing Australia, Tom Jones leading that with his teammate Jake Blackhall in the 228 Logitech backed ERA entry. Then in third is the 205, and they're quite a long way down. They're a good half lap down, and that's Krusty Demon Racing with Jay Boving behind the wheel of that car. Fourth in Class B, Synergy Sim Racing 3, Reese Goldfinch, and then rounding out your 5 in Class C is LMN Touring International, the 229. Neil de Brum is driving that car at this time. Looking at Class C, Scott Gray from AdCow Racing in the Frida is leading followed by Matt Trotman in the Delta Sim Sport 399 entry, and then just behind him G&T Racing Lewis Googly in the BMW, followed by 351 Oceanic Sim Racing. Fourth and then fifth in Class C is Guy Leach, Pagny and RD5 Racing. It looks like, let's have a look, the 314 is in the pits, it's LB Racing Team. Chris Keeping's in that car, but it's taking a long time to be serviced. We might bring up Nathan Hapats to find out what's going on with that car.
You know, that's good, Bernie, and viewers out there, don't forget, this is a broadcast, so you want to keep it civil out there. I'm enjoying what's going out there. I know that most of you are race car drivers, and it's pleasant, and you know, this is Bernie's broadcast channel, so please keep it civil out there, eh?
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's getting a bit feral in the forums, is it? And you might have to go and start banning a few people. Okay, Nathan, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and we've noticed your car's in the pits taking a long time to be serviced. Can you tell us more about that?
Hey guys, yeah, we're pretty gutted at the moment. It's very, very frustrating, and because we'd used a bit of strategy. We were in first place, and Scott Gray from Madcow was catching us, and we double stinted the tyres, so we knew we weren't going to be able to hold him off for long. So we were aiming for second. But yeah, there was some netcode. Just looked at the replay. It's probably the worst bit of netcode I've ever seen. So like we're about half a car width away from their car in the corner, and yeah, just registered a big impact, and it's cost us 22 minutes of repairs. And I hope their car's alright. It doesn't look like it's damaged, so it looks like they got away with pretty much no damage. So just, yeah, really frustrating after we'd worked our way back from midfield to like a podium finish.
Yeah, that is frustrating, especially this late in the race, but it just goes to show how quickly things can change out there. We did notice, I think you were driving at the time, you touched the wall and bent that rear spoiler a bit more.
Yeah.
Was that affecting much of the handling of that car?
Yeah, no, that didn't help either. We'd had a we had a shut early on and tapped one side of the spoiler, so I was just trying to neaten it up and tap the left hand side as well. Yeah, no, it didn't really affect us too much actually. I think at top speed we were down maybe 3 or 4 k's an hour or something, but in that last stint we were still reeling out 147 lap times, so you know, pushing hard, but it didn't seem to affect us too much, so it's alright.
Yeah, fair enough. So I guess you're going to try and get this car repaired and just limp it home. Is that the plan?
Yeah, look, we want to get as many points as we can, so you know, Chris or Sean will hop in, and with the last 9 minutes I'm not really in the best of moods to finish the race. We should have been sitting on the podium, so really the first time that we've ever been affected in a race like that, so it was a bit of a surprise and a bit frustrating. So been a bit of a frustrating race overall actually, with a number of laps behind the safety car we had. I think we worked out at one stage that Sean had been in the car for an hour and 10 minutes and had only done 4 flying race laps. So that was a bit frustrating as well.
Yeah, it definitely would be, and I'll tell you what, we may have just, see if Scott Gray's back, he is, but he's having all sorts of internet connection issues out there in that car. And yeah, and we've got a HPD into the wall right behind him. Let's hope we're not going to get another safety car, but I tell you what, he'll be lucky to finish this race. I think it's going to, Server will boot him.
Yeah, well, we've seen him drop out a couple of times and disappear for a while, and he's bouncing around on screen now, but it yeah, crossed my mind that maybe it was his connection that was causing this sort of netcode issue that we had, which would be unfortunate, but yeah, hopefully they make it to the end. They've driven pretty well and probably deserve the win, but it looks like there's a couple of guys not too far behind, hot on their heels.
Yeah, I'd say so, but we'll see how it pans out. But anyway, Nathan, before we let you go, of course, let's give a shout out to all your sponsors.
Yeah, look, yeah, big thanks to Selby Acoustics who sponsor the series. So, need any hi-fi sim gear, go and check out selby.com.au. Thanks to Sean, who owns the Selby business, who sponsors our team as well, obviously. So, and yeah, a shout out to Chris, Sean, and we've had another guy, Jason Scully, help us out with a bit of strategy tonight and a bit of banter and team speak. So, g'day to Jason, and yeah, so that's probably about it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, it's always good to have you up here, Nathan, and best of luck for the rest of the race. Let's hope you can get that car repaired so you can get the car to the finish line.
Yeah, thanks guys. Pity I'm not in a better mood, but we'll push it to the end and get a few points. And thanks again for your call. The coverage has been really good, so we all appreciate it.
No worries. So that was Nathan Hapats for Selby Racing, and I tell you what, Adrian, starting to heat up back here in Class C. We've got Lewis Kugeley starting to put pressure on Matthew Trotman, and these guys aren't too far up the road from Scott Gray.
Yeah, so you've got a decent driver there in Lewis Kugeley and Matthew Trotman, and obviously Scott Gray's a decent driver as well, but yeah, no, it's definitely heating up here in Class C, so the battle is on here for second and third in their class, and as a HPD is right on their hammer, so no, it's quite interesting, and Scott's trying to overtake another PT2 car as well.
Yeah, that's trying to get a look at that car. I think it's a Mercedes out there that's seen better days, as now Matt Trotman makes his move through there. And Lewis is also trying to get past him. Tell you what, that's pretty brave, too wide through the bus stop.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's certainly something that you don't want to be doing too often.
But yeah, Class C is definitely heating up here, and I'm just seeing how far Simon Black, he's probably a good, probably about 20-30 car lengths behind Lewis, but so he's probably out, but these guys are definitely racing to see who finishes in what order on the podium. So it looks like we've got Scott Connors down there again for an interview. Did you want me to bring him up, Adrian? You can have a chat.
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Scott. Hey Scott, welcome to the RRTV Mom's Box. Good to have you up here. I believe you're waiting in the green room earlier until we had a few issues there, but good to get you up here. And I believe you're in the car 101 tonight, yeah?
That's correct.
Yes, I do remember. We're up on the board there somewhere. You disappeared. How are you going there? I did see you there. I've misplaced you at the moment.
Well, we were running comfortably in second until a driver, which I won't name, was in a GT3 car that was quite damaged and decided to cut half the circuit and came back until the last corner and took out another two cars. So props to him when his calibre of driver should know much better.
Yeah, so that'd be the replay that Vinny was talking about earlier there while I was talking to Tim. So yeah, a bit of a shame there that sort of happened in the race. It's not good, so especially with a lead HPD, and looking forward to a nice, decent battle at the end there, mate.
Well, yeah, it just sucks. It really does. You know, you're running in second comfortably. If a safety car came out, it would have been interesting. Rogers would have had the pace anyway, but still would have been interesting anyway with a battle. But you know, since that happened, yeah, the car was damaged pretty badly. So there's yeah, no point continuing when your car's damaged and can't do much. So we'll just park it up, and I'll jump in race control now and give them a hand, because I'm sure they'll have a major backlog of issues, and they'll always be wanting your help. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. It's clear that you want to jump up there and give race control a hand. It's definitely not an easy task, and like you said, we got protests a mile long that they haven't got through yet at the moment. So definitely not a pleasant job. I think Bernie and I get a pretty cruisy job up here, but sitting for 2 hours watching you guys go around. Can be stressful at some point.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I really praise them how they do it because I couldn't do it. And props to you guys for having to commentate on cars that are going 60 k's an hour for about three-ish hours. So thanks for doing that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. It's always good to see a flash yellow car out the front. It's good viewing for sure. But looking forward to the next race, which is somewhere in the world that we're racing at.
I believe we're going to Coda for 6 hours.
Oh, geez, that's going to be interesting. I don't think AEC has been to Coda, and once again, that's sort of one of the tracks you've definitely got single line racing through there, so it's going to be tough for you boys in the HPD around there.
Oh, if it's anything like this race, I don't know what I'll give up after halfway, I think. But yeah, oh no, it's actually 6 hours of Spa. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. But that's actually alright.
Yeah, Spa's not too bad. It's look, Watkins Glen should have been a decent track here to race in. It's reasonably easy enough to overtake. There's definitely places that you can, and should be fairly enough. As I see Lewis Kugley getting around Matthew Trotman there for second place in Class C, so that was a move there. Not doing too bad down there, Scott. There, pretty good racing going on back there. These guys are pretty handy at the wheel at the moment. They're chasing down Scott Gray at the moment in the Mad Cow Frida, I believe. So heating up here in Class C. But yeah, no, it should be interesting there at Spa. Definitely a lot of room there for you guys to overtake in.
Well, yeah, it's another 6 hour race, so hopefully for this race I was expecting a bit better with there being no fasting phase. You'd think people would have some more sense and half a brain that they would actually take it easy, and knowing that if you make a silly mistake that you're gonna, your car's gonna be stuffed and you're gonna be in the pits for a while. But I think not many people have realised that. So hopefully at Spa we can expect much better with a more wide open track. So
I think the other thing I don't think you guys realise is that even though when you get your car repaired, the car isn't brand new anymore. It's still got some sort of damage. You could drive out there and they couldn't fix it quite exactly right. I've noticed that in some of the races that you do, or even in practice, you just muck around and go in there for a pit stop. It doesn't quite repair it to new, so you've got this some sort of damage, and it can rear its ugly head within a couple of laps.
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially in the stops as well. I know as the 100 car, they got a bit of damage, and they went with 0.3 left on the optional repairs, and they still were suffering from the damage that they had, and it was only 0.3 of a second. And when they came, and they were struggling, and when they came back in for that 0.3 of a second, the car was back on pace. It's amazing how that little amount of time in an optional repair can cost you a second on the track.
Yeah, for sure. So it's one of those things. I think people expect when they get repaired, they're getting a quick repair. Well, the difference between a quick repair is that you are getting a brand new car, and optional repairs and required repairs mean that it's only getting repaired in the pit lane. So it's not going to be 100%. So I think some of these guys got to understand that getting these cars fixed is not generally the best option, and try and race them again. They're better off parking it up and just watching the race from the comfort of your own.
Yeah, well, anyway, Scott, before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to your sponsors?
Thanks to Daco, GT Omega Racing, TPR Engineering, Dynamic Sim Racing, Newlex Construction, GTI Springs, and shout out to Stenny for being my co-driver and putting in an awesome stint, even though half was under caution, and fortunately it didn't happen. And thanks to you guys for commentating and putting your time and effort into this. It's awesome to see, and also to Race Control and Scott, all them guys at the organisation for the series. Big shout out to them.
No worries, mate. Thanks for popping in, and commiserations on the 101.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's a real shame, Adrian, because the 101, that was a very competitive car, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was. I mean, it'd been interesting to see that car up there. With the few teams that are up there, like Scott said, you know, that Joshua Rogers' car is just phenomenal. Well, he's phenomenal, isn't he? So Josh would have been out there and you know, carving this field up, but you see, oh yeah, he's like 40 seconds in front, so no one can be near him. But it's the rest of the guys, you know. You've got Troy Hard's 133 here, Carnet 137, the 100 car for Dayco, and also that 101. All four of those cars would have been vying for those last podiums.
Oh yeah, for sure, and it's just interesting, well, how quickly things can change here at Watkins Glen. It comes across as quite a friendly track, but I'll tell you what, it can be brutal as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I actually like this track. I think it's a brilliant track. I love the way it's set out. It's great to drive, but you know, we've pointed out quite a few areas where it can bite you, and it can bite you quite severely. So you know, it's going to do that. But it's still, I like it, and I love the boot section. I think it's makes it more interesting having this little boot section. As he's watching these two race, Bernie. I don't know if you're on them with Matthew Trotman and Lewis Kugley. These guys are having a good old ding-dong battle back here.
Oh, they certainly are. We've been on them for a little while now, and Lewis did get through, but then Matthew took him back again, and these two are battling. They've got the two Redback Racing HPDs right behind them, but at the moment those guys can't find a way around them.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a battle there between those two GT3s, but one thing that I'm surprised is that they're not trying to work together to try and catch the first place car here. I mean, at the moment, while they're battling along, they're actually losing a bit of time, so these two need to work together and try and catch up to Scott Gray here with only, we've got 13 minutes left, so about 7 laps remaining in this race. Would you believe? Geez, that's gone quickly, hasn't it? Can't really believe that we've only got about 7 laps to go, so the race is on here, and they're definitely fighting for every chance they can to get that next step.
Yeah, well, they're only 3.1 seconds down the track, as again Lewis goes on the outside of Matthew Trotman, and which means he should have the inside at the boot part. But yeah, 3 seconds down, and these guys are really battling for the second spot on the podium.
Yeah, they certainly are. As you know, poor old HBD had to wait there to get through, as Matthew uses the draft of the HBD to go on the inside. So no, this is brilliant racing here between these two guys. This is how racing should be done, I reckon, Bertie. These guys are putting on a show for
Well, they certainly are. Now Lewis is on the inside again, and he'll take it, but oh no, they're into the wall. That's not how racing should be.
No, Lewis got a little bit loose there on the inside, and oh no, that's a shame for both of those cars. I'm not sure if they can keep going. Definitely Matthew can't. That's a shame. I'm sure that was definitely not intentional by the look of that, in my opinion. There, Lewis just got loose on the inside.
Yeah, we're having a look at this replay here, and we can see Lewis on the inside here. I'm just going to see if he's hit anything, which he hasn't, but yeah, you're right. The cars just looked like there was a possible contact between the two of them. So yeah, he's just got the route. Yeah, that's tank slapper, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think this is where this track can catch you out. I think he's kept it down narrow. And oh yeah, there we go. If you go back just as he's exiting that corner, he's keeping it nice and tight, but because he's keeping it tight, the back of it just steps out, and obviously he's tried to correct it, and it's gone the other way, and because it's gone the other way, guess who was there? So poor old Matthew Trotman gets collected by Lewis there. So yeah, just trying to race, and they were doing the right thing. But yeah, just a shame that car just got loose underneath Matthew.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I tell you what, Matthew got hit hard, didn't he? That car, I don't think we'll be doing too many more laps.
Yeah, just hopefully if they had a quick repair there, they could use that. But obviously in this 6-hour race, possibly not. And having a look there, it looks like Alex has exited the service, so obviously their race is done and they've called it quit. So obviously with what, we've got 10 minutes to go, they're not going to get their car.
Yeah, so we're just trying to scramble here, folks, to find out about the retirements of those cars. We can see Lewis Kugeley, that car is still circulating. It got off surprisingly light, considering that force of the impact. But he's saying Matthew Trotman's car, that looks like it has retired, Delta Sim Sports, and as you said, Adrian, they probably won't have enough time to get that car repaired.
Yeah, what a shame. They're doing a great job, weren't they? Like I said, Alex was on a high from last night and having a win in the SRA, and coming here tonight, the car was working really well. Oh man, that's crazy stuff there too. Just sitting here with Zach Hanlon and just watching these cars go up through the S's, just too wide, just crazy stuff. But yeah, no, it's just a shame. They were having a good old battle there. That was great racing with those guys until that point. So bit of a shame there for those guys.
Yeah, it certainly was, and that incident cost Lewis around about 6 seconds. So at the moment, Mad Cow Frida is 10 seconds in the lead and looking pretty good for a win here in Class C. But the way this race is going, one just does not know what's going to happen. And then second at Lewis Kugeley, as he goes in tight again as a HPD goes around the outside of him. And then Guy Leach has jumped up into third position now in the Pagnian IRFF Racing entry. I'm just having a look at how far down. He's 16 seconds down from Lewis, so it looks like Class C is pretty much sorted as far as the podium's concerned.
Yeah, pretty well sorted. About the podiums we've actually got James Stevenson down in the green room for the Mad Cows, so might be able to quickly get him up here and have a quick chat. Hey, James, welcome to the Double RTV comms box. Looks like good old Frida's working out there. Is Scott going to get his laps?
Yeah, he's going to get his laps in. We were a little bit worried there for a minute because his computer started to have some issues, and he disappeared off the track for half a lap at a time for about 5 minutes there, and we lost all the gap to the people behind us, but it's come good now and he's plugging along alright.
Yeah, we did notice that. We've been watching the battle behind you, and I think that's where we had that incident with the Selby car as well. Which Nathan said it looks like a bit of net code. Unfortunate for those guys, and knew it wasn't intentional, so they're a little bit disheartened, but it's part of racing.
Yeah, it was a weird one. There was quite a gap between the cars, and all of a sudden his car just sort of flew off sideways into the fence. It's not what you want to see. I mean, we wanted to have a nice little battle with them to the end of the race, but yeah, unfortunately for them, their race sort of took a turn for the worst.
Yes, it did, and it's part of racing, and I think it's been interesting for you guys. It looks like the racing down in C-Class has been really fantastic, and a good seesaw battle between all the few cars that have been up there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different strategies that play with the safety cars that have been on. It was difficult to tell who was going to come out where a lot of the time, but yeah, we ended up having to come through the pack a few times because of our strategy decisions and also the penalty that we got, but no, it's not been too bad.
It's been fairly good for the racing down here. I've been watching it. We've seen a little issue there with Lewis. He got a little bit loose and took out Matthew Trotman, which was a bit of shame because they were having a decent fight, which was obviously helping Scott out for sure. Just keeping them going through, just slowing themselves down and giving Scott a bit of room. So obviously that helped. But now Lewis is free, but looks like he's got a bit of damage. So looks like you're pretty well safe there.
Fingers crossed. We're just hoping that the computer problems don't return for Scott and he can get to the end of the race safely.
Yeah, and I believe you ran the blanket main series as well. We'll quickly touch on that because it's good for the viewers to know how the Aussie teams are going and that sort of stuff. But I believe you guys did the 6-hour and that.
Yeah, unfortunately Bessie had a drive-through penalty on that one due to having car contact in the previous race, so we were on the back foot for most of the race. But Buttercup finished 20th and Bessie finished 23rd, which has got us in, I think it's 19th and 22nd in the championship.
Oh, it's pretty good run, considering as well as you said, you know, a penalty and getting up there in 20th. So it's good to see you guys keep fighting away there. It's good to see and good to have these Australian teams in there for sure. So it's an awesome effort from you guys to keep going, and it's good to see the Swift boys out there having a good race as well tonight. They're putting down the challenge to you as well. If you go back through the broadcast there, DJ's just trying to put down the challenge to you boys. So which I'm sure you're going to relish in if they get up there and give you a bit of a run.
Yeah, they looked a lot stronger early on than they have towards the end of the race here, but I think they didn't quite make the right calls with their safety cars, and that's put them back a little bit in the pack.
Yeah, for sure. Well, James, I'm sure we'll get you back up here in about 4 minutes, so we'll let you go for now. You can either sit down in the green room or go and talk to Scott for the last 4 minutes, and we'll let you go for now, and I'm sure we'll see you in 4.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
Yeah, so we're down to 3 minutes 42 here of this race. At the moment, Class A is pretty much being dominated by Team TTL, Josh Rogers. That gap is out to 42 seconds at this point. Second is Justin Richardson for Tryhards 7 in the 133, excuse me, in second. And he's got about a 12-second gap over the 137 Carnet TDR entry, with Colin Schweck back behind the wheel of that car, and he's just passing Scott Gray there, the leader of Class C. Looking at Class B, well, we've got again Tom Jones, Evolution Racing Australia, and the 226 is leading that. He's got his teammate behind him, the 228. Evolution Racing Australia Logitech backed entry. Jake Blackhall is in that car, and then Jay Boving for Krusty Demons Racing is the last person for the podium at this stage of the race. The only person that could challenge him would be Synergy Sim Racing, but he's about 3/4 of a lap down, so I can't see that happening. So it looks like, Adrian, the racing is coming to a close, and we've been pretty lucky, touchwood, that we've had no safety cars in the last hour and a half.
Yeah, well, as per the race protocol, I believe the last 10 minutes they don't actually have a safety car, so no safety car for the last 10 minutes, I think it is. It might be a little bit more than that, but I believe it's around that 10-minute mark, so we won't get to see a safety car. They get to race to the end, which is good. Which is what you want to see. If there's close battling or close racing, you don't want to see it stuck behind the safety car. So yeah, the boys have settled down. I think they're all had their war of words to each other now, and got settled down and kept got out there and started racing.
Yeah, it's been one of those races, hasn't it, where it seems like it started off well, but then I don't know what it was, tempers went off a bit, and it's divided a lot of the teams, as we can see a tryouts car parked up against the wall back there, but he's probably there to stay till the end of this race now. But I guess, you know, we've heard the stories from a lot of disappointed teams, a few commenting about driver standards. So it's been a pretty normal AEC round by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, I suppose I put my hand up and I sort of instigated last round. I think at the end of the day, seeing stuff that probably wasn't called for throughout the race, and it gets disappointing as a spectator, not just as a you know, a commentator, but as a spectator. It's something that you don't want to see. Yeah, you don't mind hard, clean racing, but some of this racing can be looked at more like demolition derby, and that's where it should be kept, I think, sometimes. But look, the guys are going to have to sort it out. Yes, they can do it over the forums, that's fine, but just wish they'd keep it civil. It's not nice seeing that sort of stuff carry on YouTube or in the forums. Just got to keep it civil and have a discussion. Maybe the teams can have a word with AEC and figure out what they need to do if they're getting that sort of issue. But you know, that's something that these teams and AEC will sort out, and we just sit here and try and broadcast this and give the viewers a great showing of decent racing.
Yeah, well, that's all we can really do. And as now Josh Rogers, Team TTL, is coming around. The time has run out, but I think he's going to go and get the white. Has he got the white flag yet? And it's a bit bizarre. This he's coming across to celebrate, but my telemetry tells me they're still under green. So I'm a bit puzzled by this.
Yeah, I think it is finished there. It's got race over on iRacing. So win to Joshua Rogers, and it looks like Tryhards have come over for second, and Daco Motorsports for fourth. It looks like TD Net hasn't come across yet. Still down in the back of the field, so obviously these guys are going to be finishing in different orders at the moment. The Schweck boys are just at the back here, coming up to turn 10, and should be crossing the line very shortly, as other teams are finishing now because of where they're.
Yeah, so the Tryhards 133 comes home second in Class A, and then Class 137 comes home third in Class A. So that's TD. I'm a bit puzzled by why my overlays still say we're racing. But as far as the win for Class B, we'll tell you that in a moment, because my telemetry's gone all a bit messed up here, which is probably the last, what would you call it? Last drama of the night.
Yeah, so in Class B, I've got Evolution Racing Australia, car number 226 in first, car number 228, Evolution Racing. So a 1-2 for those boys again, so well done for those. And it looks like Crusty Demons, car number 205. It's been a while. I believe they were in the series last season, so it's been a while. So they must have come back and given it another crack. So good to see them come home in third. Just trying to find out where first place is, which is the 333 Mad Cow Racing Breeder. Moo! So well done to those boys. Done a fantastic job there to win that. G&T Racing. Looks like Lewis was able to keep that car in that position there, Bernie, and brought the car home in second. And car number 300, Pagnium IRFF Racing, done a fantastic job there to get into third.
Yeah, that's right. And then the 363 Swift Racing, they come home fourth in class, so a great effort from them. Now, a few of the viewers probably saw on our broadcast what happened to ANZ Motorsports, the 398, and the contact it had with the 132 in the final corner at Watkins Glen. I can say that car has a post-race investigation against it, and race control will be looking at that further. That car did retire after that incident, so I just sort of let the viewers know about that. So it looks like we have a few people to interview when they come up. We've spoken to James Stevenson. Should we bring him up to finish the conversation and so he can give a shout out?
Yeah, I think so, Bernie. He's sitting there, he's waiting down there. I think we all knew that he'll be back up here soon, but we wanted to cover off that last few minutes, even though we almost missed it because of me jabbering on. And I'll let you take over from there.
No worries. Well, welcome back again, James. It looks like the computer did hold out, and congratulations, Class C winner of tonight, and that must make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so I guess Scott got his numbers up, so how are you guys going to celebrate this win tonight?
Sorry, what was that? Scott's talking in my ear.
Oh, no worries. We thought we'd bring you up before it all everyone queued up, but yeah, give congratulations to Scott from us, and it was a really well run race by your team, and yeah, congratulations on that win.
Yeah, we had a reasonably, well, probably one of the better strategies you could pick out of all the safety cars there, but I think we got really lucky when we had our penalty. We came in and filled the car up with fuel and put new fresh tyres on, and then as we drove out of the pit lane there was a safety car which put us right back in the pack. Without that I think it would have been difficult to get back to the lead. Yeah,
it seemed like a race, as always with these endurance races, a race of mixed fortunes, and it sounded like you had experienced that yourselves with that safety car coming out and keeping you in contention.
Yeah, and the other thing was ANZ, who kept staying out, and we weren't quite sure why, because we knew they didn't have enough fuel to actually make it to the end on one more stop. But then they ended up having contact with a HPD anyway, I think, which put them out.
Yeah, they did. They had a nasty accident which forced that car to retire. But I guess that incident released you guys. You had Lewis Kugley behind you, but he was driving in a damaged BMW after contact with Matthew Trotman. So I'd say your car was probably the straightest BMW out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean we had quite a few near misses, and I actually made contact with the car and somehow came out with no damage at all, so we were quite lucky.
Yeah, so before we let you go and celebrate with Scott, did you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Shout out to all our cow fans. They were out in force last night for the Blancpain series, and I'm sure they've been on the YouTube for this as well. So thanks guys for supporting us, and we hope you continue to enjoy our racing.
Now, you got to give them a moo, mate. They need a moo.
Moo! Moo! Moo!
That's good. First one sounded a bit creepy, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, give them 3. That makes up for it.
No worries. We'll go and celebrate with Scott. Well done, mate. A really well raced event tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So that was our Class C winner, James Stevenson in the 333. His other driver was Scott Gray, who brought that car home. I think James, he did a lot of laps, didn't he? About 128 laps of tonight's race.
Yeah, he did a fair few. See, Scott must have had some other issues, and they've worked out that how many James could do, which I'm just trying to check out now. As you can tell, I'm just rambling on. Yeah, James did 128 laps, and Scott did 36. So got over the line with about 15 laps.
Okay, well that's excellent, because it was quite interesting when Scott was having all those internet connection issues. Normally the team would bring them in, pull them out, but Mad Cow Racing did not have that that luxury, did they? Because Scott had to get those minimum laps up, and whether the internet was working or not, that was irrelevant at the end of the day for them.
Yeah, for sure. Scott had to stay in that car. He couldn't get out, and to do it with 15 laps is fine. But you know, you can't gamble on that with the way the safety cars were falling tonight. You know, that 15 laps could have been 5 laps. He would have had to, you know, would have only just got home with 5. So, you know, he had to stay in the car, and hopefully the cow, yeah, well, the cow didn't die on him, and he milked it for everything he had.
Yeah. Any other puns you want to throw in there? But it looks like we've got quite a few people down there waiting for an interview. We've got Blake Coppo, Jake Blackhall for ERA. I'm assuming Blake Coppo's an ERA driver.
Yes, that's.
So I'm just having a look at who else we've got. So we might bring Blake up and Jake, the Blake and Jake show, and have a chat with them. Then we'll bring Justin and Aidan up. They were in the 133, and we've got Lewis and Trent down there for Class C. I'm just trying to work out who Justin drove with. Justin Richardson. Yep, I worked it out. Okay, let's bring these guys up. Hi Blake and Jake. See, it's a Blake and Jake show. Welcome to RRTV's Combox, and tell us a bit about how your race turned out for you guys.
Evening Bernie, Adrian, thanks for having us. I was in the 226 driving with Tom Jones. Jake was in the 228, he was driving with Simon Feigl. So we were teammates but opponents. We had a bit of a battle there at the end. Our race went really well, pretty smooth. The only minor hiccup that we had in the 226 was probably about lap 79 or 80. I had a little spin, didn't hit anything but lost a good bunch of time. A little bit fortunate with the safety cars, we were able to make that up later on, but apart from that it was pretty well smooth sailing for us. Had a really good car, really stable but fast, and looked after the tyres well, and it was basically a matter of keeping it out of trouble and turning laps. The pace was there to not have to really push super hard and worry about it too much. We just had to keep it clean, and the car was quick. So yeah, for us it was a pretty smooth race, and really happy to get the win, and should help us out a lot in the championship with the well, unfortunate night the guys in the 200 had.
Yeah, it was interesting race for us in 228. Different sort of circumstances. We had an incident early on. 2 cars got in trouble in front of us, and Simon had nowhere to go. Copped a meatball in the C7, so which was hardly any damage, but it cost us 2 laps. So we were fighting our way back. Got a good lucky safety cars about midway portion of the race. Got our laps back, and then worked our way from there. But the car was glued underneath us. Like Blake said, the car was awesome to drive. It was really good on the tyres. I even didn't, in that last stop, I just chucked fuel in it and didn't even bother with the tyres. So I doubled and a half, really, the tyres in that last stint, and just seeing what I could do with it. And the car was still really good at the end. So yeah, it was a hats off to the team. We get a 1-2, and look forward to what the rest of the season really can bring with us.
Yeah, and the other thing is both the ERA cars had a lap up on the rest of the field of 3rd place anyway, the 205 of Krusty Demons Racing. So, you know, well done again to Evolution Racing Australia. Getting cars 1-2 after 6 hours at Watkins Glen is a huge achievement. We did notice earlier the 3rd ERA car was quite strong as well, but unfortunately the 223 had its own bad luck, didn't it, and throughout the race, and it ended up about 2 laps down from you guys.
Yeah, they got caught up in a bit of a pile-up, and that cost them a lot of time. They were able to get repaired and keep running around and come home with a reasonable finish. Yeah, it was a really good result for the team, and we're all very happy. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, and particularly this weekend and last weekend for the whole ERA organisation. So to come away with a good result like that, a 1-2 for the team to round it off, we're very pleased, and I think the boys are going to be really looking for some rest after the busy period we've just had.
Yeah, well, you guys are in the Blancpain last night, and that was a 6-hour race as well, I think, wasn't it? And then you've backed up with this, so I guess any of you guys taking tomorrow off, calling in a sick day for Monday?
Oh, I think I am. I don't know about the rest of the team. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are a bit wounded warriors, as we could say, a bit tired and a bit just trying to push through and see what everyone can do. But it's been a great effort from the team these past couple of weeks. Like Blake said, we've been really seeing what we could do. We've done a lot of these endurance races. We had the NEO endurance and SDRT endurance last week as well, or last couple of weeks ago. And so and then Blancpain as well. So we're trying to see what we can do and push as hard as we can to get the results for everyone at the team, and it looks like it's paying off.
Yeah, it definitely does. Well, congratulations, guys, on your 1-2 finish for ERA. Before we let you go, though, you've got quite a few sponsors there to thank.
Yeah, just a fair few. Yeah, massive shout out to all our sponsors: Logitech, MPMS Racing Simulators, MS Limited Edition, Multiple Sclerosis. That's an awesome cause that we're able to support. Maverick Welding, GTI, Joel Real Timing, and also Night Rider Designs.
Well done. I was counting those off. I think you covered them all. So anyway, guys, thanks for popping in. I'll let you guys go now so you can go and celebrate with the rest of your team and start working out excuses of why you're not going to work tomorrow.
Thanks, Bernie.
It's much appreciated.
Just thinking, Adrian, I hope their employers aren't watching this replay. Or else they're going to be in trouble. Okay, next up we'll bring up Aidan Pike and Justin Richardson. They came second in Class A, and then we'll bring up our Class A winners. Followed by Lewis Kugley, Trent Thomas in the 311. We'll finish off with them. Hi Aidan and Justin, welcome to RRTV's Combox and congratulations, second place in Class A and a very strong showing by the Tryhards boys tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a long race.
Yeah, it certainly was. And how did that race go for you guys? Was it pretty smooth sailing or did you have some dramas throughout that 6 hours?
Well, started out strong, and first caution came out, and I think it was a tumble from there. We had some pretty exciting times and sat back under caution for a bit. Luckily able to come out on top after all of it. Avoid some carnage.
We definitely had a strong car at the beginning of the race. I think I was running at third for the first stint, and had a little trouble with a back marker that came out of the pits accidentally, and it put us a lap down. So after that, it was pretty much a struggle just to get back up to where we were. We knew we had the car. We just needed to put the laps in the middle of the race. There seemed to be quite a lot of cautions, and I was supposed to get back into the car with about 2 hours to go, but the cautions kind of extended the window for Pike to pretty much get in the lead when we bidded. After that, it was just fuel save.
Yeah, I think we caught that incident earlier on. I think you came together with, it might have been another Tryhards car in Class B, and you caught the fence.
Yeah, I was going out of turn 1, and I saw him creeping, and it looked like he was staying to the bottom, but then as I was approaching him, he kept going up, which is unfortunately where I was already taking that move to go around that way, so it was just bad timing.
Yeah, we were watching him coming out of the pits, and it looked like the pit crew tried to repair that car, but they just didn't get it quite right, and unfortunately, when you got on the outside, it just looked like he couldn't get that car turned enough, and unfortunately you guys found the fence, but the good news is you recovered and you came home in a strong second position.
Oh yeah, it was great. A lot of cautions helped get some laps back in, and once we were back on the lead lap, it was just working our way through. So that was a good time. We got to thank Tryhards for having us. Shout out to Speed Asylum. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the AEC for having us. We're over here in America. Aiden is on the East Coast in Canada, and I'm in California. So as you can maybe understand, it's 4:30 in the morning for me, and I think 7:30 for Pike over there. But we definitely had a good time, and I appreciate everyone for having us.
Yeah, it's definitely great to have you guys join us for the AEC, and I guess we won't hold you up too long because you're probably desperate to have some sleep. But yeah, congratulations, second, and a big effort, especially staying up pretty much all night racing with us over here in Australia. So well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next round.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Anyway, good night, good morning, whatever.
You too.
So that was Justin Richardson, Aidan Pike. I tell you what, Adrian, that's commitment, isn't it, to be staying up all night running this race with us here in Australia.
Oh yeah, for sure, and I think it just goes to show that this series is something to be a part of, and definitely get sorted into. I mean, it's brilliant racing. I mean, the guys did a fairly good job. Probably, you know, I didn't see them put a step wrong, and did a fantastic job, and didn't seem to have any issue with netcode with those guys either. So they were doing a fantastic job, and to come home second in this series with the caliber of drivers that we've got in here, that's a fantastic effort.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I don't think we've seen that pairing before, but I'm sure we're going to see them again, and I'm sure they've had a great time. But I might bring up our Class A winners. That's Joe Burkett and Josh Rogers, and because I'm a team player, Adrian, what do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah, sure, no worries. Take over, mate, as much as you...
No, mate, I was going to let you interview the race winners, because that's the sort of person I am.
Well, that's fantastic. No, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Yes, consider this my birthday present to you.
Oh, jeez. Hey Joe, hey Josh, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on the winning car, winning of the race. So well done, top step of the podium. Awesome.
Yeah, cheers, boys. What a hectic race. Look, I think probably everybody's goal in that one was just to survive it, and thankfully we learned from our mistakes at Road Atlanta and tried to make as little mistakes and keep our toes out of the lava.
Yeah, I think that was working probably for the first 2 hours, and then it all went to the other side into the lava, like you say, for a good four, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. I think the guys were getting a little bit frustrated there, and yeah, I can understand why. Being underneath behind the safety car wouldn't have been fun for you guys.
Yeah, no, I think it was after possibly in the second safety car when we had no choice but to pit, and we were starting back in the pack, and it was quite scary. Probably most hectic part of the race for me, those two restarts, just cars going everywhere, and when it's an endurance race, sometimes it's not really necessary, but you know, we all made it out unscathed, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think that's one of the dramas with safety cars. If the leader pits, and especially with strategy, you know, we did see a few cars pit before the safety car, so they were pitting preempting a safety car, which they did well and got them off kilter. But what it did mix up the field. So as soon as you guys pitted in, obviously everyone that got waved around, it sort of backed the field up anyway. You guys were back in the pack and you lost your track position, but at the end of the day, man, you just showed the field how classy you are. Just pushed your way back forward.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, there you go, Joe. You can say something.
Look, I'm going to start out with, I never thought I'd spend one stint in a car and have it take 2.5 hours. Like to get in and then go for like 2 or 3 green laps and then be a caution and then go for about a green lap and then a caution. It went on there for about, yeah, at least 2 hours, probably closer to 2.5. And then then when we had that green flag stretch before we put Josh back in, to try and switch back on and actually like properly race for the lead, it's pretty difficult. But yeah, no, it's good to be back on top after a few races with some issues, and yeah, back to our winning ways.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. I mean, I believe you had a good run last week, turnout as well, and probably one of the worst races I've seen in a long time for AEC, and you guys have managed to come around and do a fantastic job. I think I highlighted Josh in that one as well. The way that you managed to drive the car through that and just be a bit patient. And once again, I'm sure I saw that again. True, both of you guys just being patient and understanding that 6-hour race is quite a long time to be in a car, and you don't want to bin it in the first.
Yeah, that's sort of what we took away from Road Atlanta, especially. We had a fairly good chance there, and yeah, just as you say, being a bit impatient sort of just cost us a chance at the win there. So we take away from there that a bit of patience does do virtue, which we've brought forward into this race, and yeah, as you said, it's worked out pretty well for us.
No, it's pretty good, and it's good to see you boys doing so well. And once again, Josh, I think hats off, man. It's just so phenomenal. You were probably the quickest guy out there. It was phenomenal to see you just leave that field behind. So top effort. But look, hopefully next round you guys have a nice run. We might see some decent green flag racing. I believe it's at Spa, so should have a decent run.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Just thought I'd take the time to thank Joe, obviously, for all his help. He did a great job tonight. Feel a little bit bad that he didn't get to drive the car as much as I would have liked him to, but you know, well, that's the way the dice rolls. But yeah, thanks to our fake sponsors, Cask. Yeah, also to you boys as well, put on the broadcast. There's nothing better than being able to have a good race and go back and watch a little bit of the action. And also good job to Scott Stevens for putting in all the work into the series, and I'm sure he was probably pulling his hair out tonight, but hopefully Spa's a little bit easier for him.
Yeah, well, like we've had a few people go up and help him up in the race control, so obviously if you can get some more help in there, it might stop pulling out his hair. I'm sure he's going to be bald by the time he's finished this series this year, looking that way at the moment. But yeah, thanks again, boys. Congratulations on your podium and top step there, and looking forward to seeing you race at Spa.
Thank you.
So that was our Class A winners, Josh Rogers and Joe Burkett from Team TTL, and I must say, Adrian, that was quite a dominant performance those guys put together tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll tell you what, I would have liked to have been Joe, being stuck behind that safety car. At least you weren't having to worry about racing under anger and not pinning the car. You wouldn't have done it too much behind the safety car. So let Josh drive that car, because he's absolutely quick, isn't he? So yeah, I wouldn't have been worried about not racing for sure with having Josh as your team.
Yeah, but the good news is for all our viewers, that 2 hours of safety cars, that was the 2 hours that we were off air for. So all the rest of the stuff you guys got to catch. The only thing you missed was 2 hours of safety cars. So hats off to us, I say. Anyway.
Oh, that's just awesome planning on your behalf. So you know, can't help awesome planning from Bernie. I mean, that's just great. So before we keep rattling on, I think we better bring up Lewis and
yeah, I think so. We'll bring up Lewis Kugley, Trent Thomas in the 311, and they came home in second position in Class C.
I bet you Trent's feeling the chuffed tonight.
Well, let's find out how Trent's feeling tonight. But welcome to the Combox, Lewis and Trent, and congratulations, second step of the podium in Class C tonight. That is outstanding effort by you guys tonight.
Thank you very much. Yeah, big thank has to go to Lewis for teaming up. Neither of us actually had a drive this morning, and then the powers that be put us together, and yeah, we've managed to bring the car home in second place, so absolutely stoked about that.
Yeah, thanks to Trent for letting me have the opportunity to run with him, and yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, it definitely looked like good fun, but I tell you what, it looked like it might have all ended in disaster for you guys when that BMW gave you a bit of a tank slapper there, Lewis, and you caught Matt Trotman, I think, on your outside there.
Yeah, we were pushing really hard. The only way to get around that Audi is to do something pretty ridiculous in the corners, and you got to string the corners together, and unfortunately I just couldn't hold it, and then I got a bit opposite lock on, put the power down, traction control kicked me sideways, and unfortunately Matt was there, so big apologies to him and his team. They had a great race, you know, they're putting together a really good championship, and it's unfortunate and like, it ended like that, but geez, there's like those 20-30 minutes where we were just at the tail, catching Scott, and, you know, battling. I hope it was entertaining for you guys.
Oh, it's fantastic. We were following the battle, watching you guys dicing and swapping positions backwards and forwards, and it was actually really, really good racing. And we had just said that this is the way racing should be, but then, of course, after we said that, you guys had that coming together. But that's racing, after all. But Trent, from your point of view, you must be pretty happy with the performance of the 311 BMW tonight, as well as your partner in crime, Mr. Kugeley.
Oh, definitely. After having the last couple of races really haven't gone to plan for the 311, so it was good to finally have a good result. I actually said after the last race, I said, right, that's it, I'm going to win the next round. Didn't quite get the win, but pretty close to it, so we led for a while. I think our strategy call that we made, I think it was about just under 2 hours to go. We come in under the safety car, topped up on the fuel, and none of the guys ahead of us I don't think did, so that put us in a pretty good position come the last fuel stop. Meant we only had to put in half a tank of fuel, so it was a lot shorter stop, and so we jumped from about 7th up to 4th, I think it was, based on that, and yeah, that put us right behind Trotman there, which again, as Lewis said, apologies to him and that team. Really gutted that battle ended that way. But those guys are stuck together for about 40 minutes, no more than half a second really separating them. It was very nervous to watch, but yeah, both drivers really showed their skill levels, I think, with how close they could run until the unfortunate incident.
Yeah, that's right, but there's not much you can do when the car snaps like that. You know, you're pretty much a passenger at that point. And I was actually quite surprised. It's the first time I've actually seen the BMW snap like that. I'm normally used to seeing the McLaren pull those antics.
Oh, I'm not sure. That thing's, the beam is prone to snapping. I've been driving the Merc the past month, and that thing's quite stable. But as soon as you lose the front end or the rear, you've got one chance to correct it. Sometimes you save it. Fortunately, Trent's setup tonight was pretty forgiving. There was a few times where I got a bit loose and a bit sideways. But generally speaking, once you get the beam sideways, you're a passenger. So that's what's most great about it, because I tried my best to save it. You know, it wasn't malicious. It was a good hard racing and having fun. It was great that we were catching Scott too, because I saw the wind was there. I had to get past him to get to Scott. And unfortunately, I think that's what helped Scott. Scott had some internet connection issues. I saw he was blinking in and out, so was I, but he lost a bit of his lead, and I said I had to get past this Audi if I'm going to have any chance of winning this thing, and unfortunately that incident occurred. But yeah, it was a great setup, great car, great fun. It's good to be back in the BMW there.
Yeah, fantastic, but I can't let you guys go yet because I need to hand you over to Mr. Jarvis, because I'm sure he's got some questions for you guys.
Oh, geez, thanks, Benny. No, Lewis and Trent did a fantastic job. I'm sure, Trent, this feels like you've got a little bit of a monkey off your back
Oh, definitely. It's good to finally sort of shake this AEC curse, I've been calling it, for the GNT guys. We've really struggled. But yeah, thanks to Lewis for coming on board and really putting in a strong stint, especially towards the end there. Certainly helped. But yeah, just to finally get a result, not just the result, but actually get to finish a race. We had a few hairy moments throughout. I got a little bit of contact with the HPD who cut down on my nose a little, and I think Lewis got a hit in the rear from a HPD from it when there was an accident in front, and obviously the HPD didn't see the accident and ran into the back of us. Wasn't too bad, but didn't bend the car or break it too badly, which was good. And yeah, the car still handled really well. I think we had a pretty safe setup that we were running today too. As Lewis said, it was quite forgiving. So as long as you sort of learnt where you could push and where you couldn't, it was actually really quite easy to drive compared to some other setups and stuff that we've driven. But yeah, really happy to get the podium after we switched from the HPD earlier in the year, and we've only been running this car now for I think 3 races, so really happy.
Yeah, awesome effort, and hopefully we'll see you and Lewis in this car again for the next round. It might be a little bit of an omen here, having Lewis in the car.
Maybe. I'll have to see. He's actually on loan to us for today, so unless I can convince him to jump camps. But yeah, no, big thanks to FSR for allowing Lewis to run with us, and big thanks to Lewis as well for coming and joining us and helping us get this really good position.
It's my pleasure with that. It's right for someone else to pass it along. I think any practice of them being around this place pretty well when races in the past in the SDK race, no place pretty much back to front of the grade. So, especially thanks to the trend and obviously Scotty allowing me to run up. Hopefully we can get a lot of trying to get a win now. I think this year for different teams. Let's just get one up.
Well, thanks, guys. Once again, congratulations. Good effort, and we'll see you next round. Hopefully, you might be lucky enough to join together. But yeah, thanks again, and look, that's it from me. And put a little bit of shout out there, Trent, mate, before we let you.
Yeah, thanks to you guys, obviously putting the broadcast on. Thanks to Scott and the crew at FSR for hosting the series. Thanks to Lewis for joining me. Thanks to Monster Designs and Stell's Styles and Vandalay Industries on the back of the car. That's a Seinfeld reference for anyone who knows. I don't know anything about it. Pain to put it there. As people may or may not be aware, we lost our main sponsor, QuickBeds, at the end of last month. So currently looking for a new main sponsor if anyone's out there and interested. Yes, thank you very much.
The AEC community for them also doing their best they can't really change the certain teams and individuals, so shout out to them for their constant hard work and dedication both on race day and behind the scenes. Regards to we've got some more team it's in the HPD tonight. I think Scott mentioned that for dynamics racing, structures and and obviously once again I think the trend surrounding us to hear sponsors and great guys and I'm happy to do it in the future. And obviously you guys, thanks for the broadcast. I'm looking forward to getting back.
Yeah, no worries, guys. We'll go and celebrate and with the champagne or whatever you do, and we'll catch you next round.
Thanks, Bernie. Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, so our final interview is with our race control. That's Mr. Scott Stevens, and we'll see how he's feeling after that race.
It can't be good. We don't usually get Scott up here, so this might be a bit hurt.
Well, we're about to find out. He might be really chirpy. You just don't know with Scott.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll see how it goes. It should be interesting.
Yeah, so Scott, welcome to RRTV's Combox. Quite an eventful race there. How busy were you guys in race control tonight?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we both? Sorry, go on.
Good. I'm fantastic.
It's good to hear. How busy was race control? It was busy. It was busy. We were kept pretty busy. Unfortunately, probably not entertained with racing, I'd probably say. Yeah.
Well, I have to thank you because we went off the air for 2 hours tonight while we had our break, and it was really nice of you guys to fill those 2 hours with pace cars. We feel like we didn't miss a lot of the action tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't think you guys missed much at all, to be honest. It pretty much seemed the start of the race was not too bad, but then about, I don't know, halfway to 3/4 of the way through the opening kind of hour-ish, things just started getting pear-shaped, and then it went from there through to about the last 57 minutes of the race of cars trundling around behind safety cars, and I don't know anymore, guys. I don't want to sound down, but I'm at wit's end. I don't know what else to do. Like I'm reading forums and seeing that race control or race control need to have a harder stance on what goes on and maybe look at throwing people out of the series and stuff like that. But we're not the ones out there driving the car. Like, we're in race control. We're not driving the car. So I don't understand how it's our fault that things are going on in the race. Cars are getting crashed into, people are getting spun off, people need to, ask for escape function, yet we're the ones that are getting blamed for what's going on. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's because you're the referee. And people like to blame the referee, but in all seriousness, I'm not sure. I know that there's quite a lot of action on our YouTube channel forum as well, which I'm going to go and pay a visit to after this broadcast, just to see what was being said on that. But honestly, I don't think we want to get to the point where we've got to start throwing teams out because they just can't. Because they're causing accidents or whatever, but I don't know. I'm at wit's end. I don't know what else you can do either. You've tried everything. You've tried limiting them with no fast repairs. That seemed to work for the first couple of hours today, but then the drivers went through that 2 hour spell where things got a bit pear-shaped, as you said. It did come together towards the end of the race, though, and we seemed to have some good racing. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have the answer as well, Scott.
Yeah, I think, people can be out there and they can point the finger. And, I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion, and everyone will always have an opinion. Some will vocalise it and some won't. But at the end of the day, we all know how long these races are. We all have been racing each other for 6 months now. We're talking, and that's only this series for 2016. 3/4 of the field that are out there were racing each other last year. So I just think that guys need to maybe take a little bit of a step backwards and realise that the race isn't going to be won in the first, up until the last hour, realistically. That's when you need to be planning like your attack on the leader, not necessarily racing against people. It's, I don't know, it's a difficult one, I guess. But look, I guess at the end of the day, the series is pretty solid. We've got some very top level drivers. We've had more people internationally have even approached us about racing in the series, so it's definitely getting out there. I have a fantastic team of guys behind me that help out in race control, being Heath and Brock, and we come up with, against obstacles, and we try and overcome them as best and fairest to everybody out there. And we feel that we do a fairly decent job at that. We've always been, I guess, a pretty open series, with getting other people's inputs on how we can adjust the series or make things better. And I know that there are some forum posts which people may or may not have written in anger at this stage, but that's something that we'll have to potentially go and look through and sit down and look at how we can I don't know, maybe make some adjustments to the series kind of thing. So I kind of thought, yeah, bringing in a stringent or a tougher fast repairs thing would have slowed guys down a little bit, or not slowed them down, but made them think a little bit more about giving space and time and things like that. So that's obviously going to stay in place now to the end of the year anyway. But I guess I look at the racing that we did have that wasn't behind the safety car, and it was pretty awesome. You had multiple classes that were battling for podium positions within class. Unfortunately, a battle between Class A kind of got taken away from us, but that's racing, and these things happen. Class B, I believe, went 1-2 with the Evolution Racing Australia guys, so their endurance campaign for them is very, very, very strong at the moment. Not only did they get the 1-2 here today, but even in last night's BES series, I think finishing 11th or 12th, so that's really good on them, and to have that calibre of driver in our series is, I think, a testament to the series. And Class C with the Mad Cows, again, we're talking about a couple of BES drivers that are in the series, and probably don't have the competition that they would have in that series, but still, you had the likes of the Delta Sim, OSR, even Trent and Lewis there with G&T Racing were kind of really stepped up and took it to the Mad Cows guys, so that was really good to see. And the battle between Delta Sim Sport and G&T Racing there at the end for second position on the podium for, I think it was roughly about 40 to 45 minutes. They were not more than a second apart from each other, so that was awesome and really good battle to watch as well. So I think it's just, you got to take the positives out of it. Every race is probably going to have a negative, or some of them, which is fine. There's always going to be a negative, and nothing's ever going to be positive, perfect, I should say. But yeah, we can only do our best and hope that people see that that's what we're trying to do and continue on.
Yeah, no, congratulations on putting together another great event. Also tonight we saw Justin Richardson, Aidan Pike come over to drive with us from Canada and California, and we spoke to them earlier, and it was 4:30 in the morning in California for Justin and 7:30 in the morning for Aidan Pike in Canada. So it was a huge effort for those guys to stay up all night pretty much to race in this great event today.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I didn't realise that we had two Americans with us. So welcome to the Australian Endurance Championship, boys, and fantastic result. P2, you said, Bernie, I think.
Yeah, P2 Class A. They were in the 133 Tryhards Racing entry, and they had a good time from what they told us, and they're looking forward to coming back again to have another go at this series.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, definitely well done to those guys, and yeah, like I said, so I guess some more internationals that are looking at the series and wanting to be a part of it, and obviously have joined in, and that's a great result for the Tryhards, who have put a lot of time and effort into their racing this year, and hosting multiple practice servers from pretty much the lead, pretty much the day after an event, they're already on to the next one. So you know, big hats off to them, and I have to thank Alan for all the hosteds that he does put up. It's you know, it's a fair bit of money that they're kind of throwing at it, and great to see that they've scored a pretty solid result out of that as well.
Yeah, they had a great run tonight, and it really shows, you know, the effort that tryhards are putting in with all those practice sessions they're paying for, and you know, they're definitely taking this series very seriously, and you can see the results are coming through for them, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. You know, they were, I won't say a team that was out of their depth last year, but I think the competition level was extremely high and probably new for this type of series that we had last year, and from where they were to where they are now has been like a massive improvement. And yeah, I kind of look at that side of things, and I think, you know, our series has helped them progress to be the kind of drivers that they are. Even I know, like the Swift guys as well, you know, they've come into the series, and they oh, not Swift, I can't think of how they pronounce their name, but the Swift guys with Eric and all those boys. So you know, they were a probationary team after round 1 at Daytona, and now, like, through the official practice service and stuff like that, they were sitting pretty much the top 5 cars in all the practice sessions that we like had official, but everything else they ran, and they were up there today, you know, battling, you know, for top kind of 5-6 positions as well within the Class C. So you know, just little things like that, that, you know, this series has probably helped, you know, guys develop their racecraft, their driver skill, working within a team environment, you know, that side of things. So there are, to me, a lot of positives that we've been able to help with teams and drivers, which I think is great. I think it's positive and really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we know the Mad Cow boys took the Swift racing team under their wing, and helped them a lot with their setups and helping them get the most out of that BMW, which you can see now they finished 4th in class tonight after 6 hours. And the interesting thing is the 363. They laid down the gauntlet tonight, and they told the Mad Cow boys they're coming for them. So we're looking forward
right.
to see that.
Okay, well that's awesome. I mean, I know that Mad Cow helped him out a bit, and you know, that's, you know, hats off to Mad Cow for helping out another team that's you know, that needed some I guess some guidance along the way. And I'm not sure if Mad Cows are helping him anymore. So maybe Swift have got good enough that they know what they need to do to set up the car and get the most out of it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it just goes to show, you know, the community, there are a lot of good teams in there, and they love the series, and you know, it's a good series to love too. But so there are a lot of positives out of that. There's still a few teams that need to pick up their game, and I still think having the no fast repairs, that is going to work in the longer run, because the more cars that get heavily damaged, they're going to be spending their time sitting in the pits, because they won't be able to get those cars back out, and that's going to force people to be a bit more cautious as the, you know, as the racing progresses, or this season progresses.
Yeah, I do have to note with what you mentioned there about not having the fast repairs, and I was hoping that it was going to make guys think a little bit better or harder about the way that they went about racing. I think some people did it. There's a comment in the forum, I'm not sure who wrote it, but it's basically along the lines of the receiving car always ends up worse though, and I would have to agree with that, and that's where it makes it very, very difficult to not have fast repairs. Being an innocent party, and you're the one who then has to sit in pit lane for, you know, 5 minutes up to 30 minutes depending on your damage level, while the car who was the one that hit you just gets to carry on, and oh, when we do our next stop we'll just get the repairs done then, kind of thing. So from a point, there's a part of me that really kind of doesn't like it because of that aspect. There's a part of me that believes it needs to be in place to try and get, I guess, these guys to calm down and really think more long-term and endurance style driving. You know, you need to be there at the end of the race. You don't need to be battling with anybody at the start of the race.
Yeah, well, I was having a bit of a think.
I'll just cut in.
No.
I'll just cut in there.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm just listening.
Back
yeah,
to your box
I'll
there.
cut in there.
No, Jarvis, back in your box. Come on, come on.
No, you keep me up after 10 o'clock.
I want to hear what he's got to say. I want to hear.
Well, Scott, I think at the end of the day, with that quick repair, I mean, you know, yeah, unfortunately, the guy that gets the whack is going to cop it worse. But you look at any type of racing, whether it's our racing here on sim racing or real world, the guy that ends up getting the big damage is usually the innocent bystander, and the other guy that doesn't get much damage gets a penalty. And is it justice? Well, we can always debate it. No, it's probably not, but it's part of racing, and this is the rules and regulations that are set. So I wouldn't try and put yourself in a position where the poor innocent bystander gets away with nothing, gets away and has a hard deal. It's part of racing, and that's where we've got to look.
You're right, but I guess, you know, we handed out a fairly strong penalty today, which was reckless driving, and it was you know, your MPT plus 120 seconds. So and that was because the other car resulted in having heavy damage and you know, repairs being required. But that car probably spent a good 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes in pit lane having to get the repairs done, whereas the other car, yes, it had damage and it might have been slight damage or not as bad, but the penalty then, you know, how do you decipher the penalty? You know, do you make it more difficult and say, oh well, okay, you've got to sit there for like 5 laps kind of thing? It's a hard one, and it's a contentious issue because you have to give the penalty based on the action that was taken. Yeah, you have to give the penalty based on the action that was taken in accordance to like what the sporting regulations are written out as. And the sporting regulations that we've got written are based on a rules package of the WEC and the IMSA championship. So if we're basing it off of real life, you know, that's kind of what we've done.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's going to happen, unfortunately. And look, guys, if they're in a real car, and I think that's probably the difference, I suppose. Unfortunately, the guys, some of them are thinking it's going to cost them money if they're racing their own car. So I think that's where it might come down to a little bit. But it is a shame. It's something that I don't think there's ever going to be a quick fix. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job in running this series the way you are. Has it getting tougher? Yeah, I think it is, and I think it needs to be. Have I been disappointed? I think I explained that last round that we were on. I wasn't being. I was still being gentle on my comments, but I still found the racing a little bit secondhand. And once again tonight, they were looking good, and it sort of went pear-shaped a bit for a while, but. Look, I think you guys are doing a great job. You just got to keep sticking at it, and don't look at internally. I think you're doing fine. It's the teams that have got to start stepping up to the mark and doing the right thing by everyone else.
Yeah, and I'd probably add to that I would be sticking very closely to your IMSA championship points. If you start having to issue different penalties depending on the damage the other car receives, you're getting into a very murky area indeed, because it then starts to lack consistency. So the other way around it, Scott, and I know you don't want to listen to all this because we're commentary and we're trying to wrap this broadcast up, but I guess the only other thing you could do is give people fast repair and and they have to get your permission to actually use it, and that might get them around if their car's written off in an accident or something, I don't know. But that's why you're race control and we're commentary, because we can come up with all these great ideas, and then you have to try and work out how they're going to work in the real world.
Yeah. Look, I personally think that the step that we took to come to go into the sporting regulation package was a big one, and I just think that, you know, drivers probably need to start looking at things and going, is this a 100% pass on the bloke in front of me, or am I putting him, or am I putting myself at risk at attempting this? If you're even got the littlest bit of doubt, back out of it. Just don't even, just sit behind. You know, I saw a few times where faster class cars were trying to overtake at positions on the track where you're about to go around a corner, and then you can just pull out of the corner and blast straight past the, you know, lower class car, or class C, we'll call it. Yet you want to go and make a dive because you feel that you just need to get the pass done straight away, and it just doesn't make sense to me as a driver, nor a person in race control. Doesn't make sense. But look, I think I want to finish on a positive note. I think some of the racing was really, really great. You guys once again did a fantastic job in comms. I was listening on one of my monitors that I've got running, and kind of keeping a note of that. We've got the Spa 6hr coming up, I believe is the next round off the top of my head. Should be a lot better track. I think it's where last year we had, it seemed to be a lot better driving and courtesy, but the track is probably a little bit more open to that kind of racing anyway. And look, we'll press on and you know, try and make things better, and hopefully the drivers can come along with us on that journey and help to improve each other along the way.
Yeah, it sounds good, Scott. But anyway, fantastic effort once again, and I'm sure you are looking forward to having a bit of a rest after this long 6-hour race. And thanks for popping in. We'll see you again probably, another 4 weeks till the next round?
It is on the... Oh gosh, what's going on? August the 7th it is. So yeah, 6 hours of Spa.
Fantastic. So that's about 3 weeks away, folks, so tune in for that. But anyway, Scott, we'll let you go so we can wrap this broadcast up, and because it's past 10 o'clock and Adrian gets rude after 10.
Fair enough, boys. Thanks very much for having me up here. Once again, thank you to you both for spending the time to broadcast our series. Thank you to everybody at selby.com.au for their support with our championship as well. To all the drivers, the podium places, and of course my two guns in race control, Heath and Brock, for all their assistance and volunteering their time.
Fantastic. And folks, that was Scott Stevens of Race Control. So a few important points there being made, Adrian, and I guess we could talk about it all night, but we don't have that time to do that. So I think I'll get your, well, before I get your final thoughts, let's go through the top 3 results for each of the classes so our viewers can see where they finish. So Class A goes to Team TTL, the 188, 42-second lead over the 133 Tryhard 7, the first of our international teams to join this series, and then the 137 Carnet TDR team, TD Racing, comes home in 3rd in Class A. Looking down at Class B, well, it's a 1-2 for Evolution Racing Australia, with the 226 coming home in 1st, followed by their sister car, the Logitech 228. And then Krusty Demons Racing comes home in 3rd for Class B. looking at Class C now, well, Mad Cow Racing, they rose back to the top again, and you know, they say the cream always rises to the top, and Frida did it again tonight. So they come home first, and a great effort there, and finish for G&T Racing, the 311 home in second. And then third in Class C was the 300 Pagnian IRFF Racing BMW. So BMWs were, the first four were BMWs tonight. So as always, Adrian, the BMWs definitely become stronger as these races progress.
I think, once again, I think the BMW is still so settled that it's a bit more predictable. So over a longer period of time, it seems to handle the weather a lot better than the other newer GT3. So if you like a nice, comfortable car and it'll get you to the end, I think that's the car that you need.
Yeah, I think so. It seems very well suited, doesn't it, to these really long races, and we can see that time and time again as the races progress. The BMWs start coming through the field, and that happened again tonight. But before we wrap this up, Adrian, I need to ask you your final thoughts on tonight's race, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, once again, I think I've expressed them quite well throughout the race. I mean, it was good to start with once again, and we went through that bad period, and they settled down again. So I think, like I said, I think the guys have just got to settle down as a team and figure out and get their stuff together and realise that these endurance races are endurance, and that's what they're called. So they've just got to back it down a bit and try and get these cars home in one piece at the end, even for an hour left, and see how we go. But anyway, onwards and upwards, as they say.
Yeah, I'd say so. Onwards and upwards and upwards and onwards. But anyway, folks, that's the end of our broadcast for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. If you like your GT3 action, come back and join us next Saturday night. We will have the Sim Racers Asia Clubman GT3 Championship. Nice quick sprint races. It does start fairly late on a Saturday night, 10:45 PM, but we're normally wrapped up and done by 12:30 AM, and it's always quite fun. Delta Sim Sport did a great job last night, and if you haven't seen the replay, check it out on our YouTube channel. But as always, Adrian, thanks for joining me, mate, and it's always a pleasure calling these races with you.
No worries, Benny. It's always awesome to come up here and call these races. If I didn't have you up here, I'm sure to help me along, I'm sure I'd do something silly. So I'd probably just stop the broadcast and go to...
Fair enough. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us. That's all we have for you tonight from Round 6, Watkins Glen 6hr. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'd like to say good night.